What's up, fellas?
Hey, dude.
What's happening?
So, yeah, there's gonna be a lot of noise on this one today because we're making cocktails.
We're making cocktails. And you know, I forgot that you had said that we were making cocktails. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't drink cocktails. My favorite cocktail is just
Tequila.
straight up.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
ice, no, just in a cup. But I figure, well, I do make a cocktail when the tequila I have is either cheap or cheaper.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sip it. Like the Sam's Club, the
Yeah,
silver,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
good.
yeah.
That's how I used to mix that stuff.
That's what I used to
Yeah.
typically at the house because, dude, you can't beat that. But yeah, Jose's not here today. Josh is.
I'm the white Jose.
Yeah, he's gracing us with his
We have
presence.
Josh again.
Yeah,
But you were on
Blanco.
another podcast not long ago sitting over there, weren't you?
Yeah,
That was with Mark.
Yeah, he's sitting with Mark Pugh. Was doing some
Okay.
comedy stuff.
Okay. I started watching that. I was watching some clips of it. But then you've gotten so many podcasts now. I'm like, crap. I gotta catch up
Yeah,
with
you
doing
can't,
the podcast.
you can't lose a week. Or
I know. It's
you're
like
behind.
I liked your last guy though. Your cop. He was really good.
Who do we have on as cop?
You talking about Batala?
Oh yeah, Kenny. Yeah,
Yeah.
Got you on.
bro.
That was a good one.
My brain, like people will say stuff from like a year ago, and I'm like, I don't fucking remember. Like,
Do you know it's been a year ago since we had my party?
Yeah,
Almost
dude.
a year.
I seen it. I was wasted.
I still feel it.
I can't believe it's almost been a year.
I still feel it.
That was a
There's
good
a
one.
picture of
When's
me
your
and
birthday?
you, me and you
When's
that
your
night
birthday?
wasted.
23rd of this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not ever reliving that again.
Me and DJ got belligerent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys drank after I left.
Yeah.
And I had a designated driver, and she had to carry me out, basically. But it was so good. It was a lot of fun.
Anyways, so we got some stuff today. I brought things to make about 2 drinks that I like to drink. We do have a Casadores from it's a Anejo Cristalino, which we've had Casadores.
Yeah.
I know you're not a fan.
I'm not a fan of
but-
Cazadores, and I don't know why it's got this
Yeah.
and why it costs so much too.
Yeah.
I'm like that, and I don't know if maybe it has something to do with like that whole almost kind of similar to the Malbien or the what is the stuff you like?
Mezcal.
The mezcal.
Yeah.
Maybe it had a little bit. It was a little bit too smoky flavor for me for the Cazadores.
Yeah, I think because we had a Reposado, I believe.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we have an Anejo of that. But this is a Cristalino. I didn't know they made one, so I was like, I got to get it, got to try it. You already know. And then a Mundo Ora, whatever this is. It's a Blanco. Shout out to Cuban Liquor for those two. And then you brought.
I brought Tequila.
Yeah, and we keep
I like
going
it,
back to this thing.
But see, this is only like $25.
But we drank this straight up.
It's just legal
multiple
tequila.
times.
Yeah, I know we did it one time for sure, and then I think I took it to a party or something. I might have taken it to. Well, when I went your birthday, I bought Terramana.
Yeah,
when
that's
I brought,
gone.
I brought that.
Let's go.
Yeah, dude. That's the one tequila that just makes me like projectile vomit.
This
Let's
one
do
does?
it. Let's do it.
Really?
Well, we're doing cocktails today, man. So I feel like everyone's gonna
Also
be kinda,
drank like that
Cheryl,
much of it.
Cheryl asked me. She's like, "Did you eat today?" I was like, "Yeah, I had lunch." She's like, "It was 5 hours ago." She's like, "You're gonna throw up?" I was like, "I never throw up tequila."
Tell her V8 has carbs in
I
it.
was like, "I never throw up tequila." I said, "Now rum, I throw rum up.
Yeah.
I can't
You're
rum."
not a pirate.
Yeah, and also I remember my wife made some hurricanes. First time she made me some hurricanes, and it was I was like, oh, these are good. Give me another one, you know.
Oh,
and all of a sudden
shit.
the rum hit, and this was like the day after Thanksgiving, and I remember it was the day after Thanksgiving because I woke up with like these cold sweats.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me see if I can walk it off. So I started walking outside. I was like, maybe I'll put some food in my stomach. And my wife makes this amazing rice dressing for Thanksgiving, and there was some in the fridge. I was like, I'll just have some rice dressing. Okay, had some rice dressing. Bro, I was like throwing up concrete. And that time it was like, and then you could just feel like the lump coming up like that, and it's like no more. No, but tequila, never. I don't throw up tequila.
I think I may
Watch
have.
today.
I may have once or twice, but that was like a shot scenario.
Oh,
Like I was too
Were you mixing
inebriated. No, I was too inebriated, and I should have been taking shots.
okay.
So it really don't even count. It's just anything you put in your
Right.
body at that point is going to make you throw up.
Now, the last time I got really sick, do you know? It's like a mixed drink. It was a Long Island iced tea mixed drink in like one of these plastic pitchers, and it's like a Mexican restaurant. It's like a Mexican restaurant brand, and I can't remember the name of the restaurant, but it's like comes in a plastic container, and it's Chi-Chi's.
Okay.
It's Chi-Chi's, and there's a Long Island iced tea version that they make, and I would put tequila in that, but I didn't realize there was a lot of other liquors in there, and I was like, that was bad.
Headache.
The Long Island thing, man.
Yes.
It's a go-to for daiquiri if you don't want nothing too sweet, but it's gonna make you feel like shit.
And I don't like wine-based daiquiris. I hate.
Oh,
I can't. I get a
I can't even
pounding headache.
I can't hardly do any daiquiris anymore. But like, I'm about to say this publicly. I have quit drinking like a lot. Like I've cut way back, and I've said this multiple times. And I'm sure Josh is tired of hearing this, but I was having a few cocktails a week, whatever.
Yeah.
But I've cut it way, way back.
Yeah.
So like, I'm pretty much publicly announcing that this is probably the only time moving forward that I'm going to be drinking is these shows. So,
So you want us to hold you accountable?
Yeah. Well, I want everyone to, because I'm trying something here, and if I'm going to have one every now and then, cool. But I know that my
You're gonna be
tolerance.
drunk in a second.
Yeah.
It's gonna be funny. Let's do
No,
it.
I think I'm
Well,
okay.
you know what? What's interesting is
So I did have something this past week.
I'm the same way. I'm of the same mindset. I think probably starting, I would say about 3 months ago, I just stopped drinking a lot.
Me too.
And it was so now it's kind of like, okay, if I got home from work something, and we've got the dogs and play the dogs, feed the dogs, and then I'll like sit down and watch something, and every now and then I'll make myself this little cocktail that I'm making, because I will make that a cocktail. But if I've got a really good bottle of tequila, I'll do it. But for the most part, it's really only on weekends now. Like maybe a Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon.
That's what I've noticed too. I'm not doing it during the week anymore, and I feel great about that. I don't know why. It's like an accomplishment for me, because for the longest time it was like, dude, and it wasn't. I'm not getting drunk and going to the bar and getting shit faced, but it's just still like I didn't have to when I was.
But you didn't realize how your body felt until you stopped doing it a lot. And your body burns it off quickly, because
I've had this conversation with people. Someone earlier, my buddy of mine, who's completely quit drinking, and he had an issue, and he probably needed to anyways. And he'll say
okay
that.
with that? No, just kidding.
he'll say that, but I made this comparison. We were on the phone earlier, and I said, look, it's just like someone. We were talking about, he's talking about people losing weight. Like, you spend your entire life to get 300 pounds, right?
Yeah.
But you want to impatiently lose that weight within 6 months. But really, if you do everything you're supposed to do within a year or two, you can become a whole nother person.
Right.
Yeah.
And work, basically take your life back of what you've done detrimental to yourself for 30 years. But what I've always noticed is when you eat like shit all the time, you never know that you really feel like shit until you clean up your eating. And then once you have something bad, then you feel like shit.
Right.
Well, that's how I'm starting to feel with the drinking thing. I don't drink as much anymore, so when I do, I have to do it in moderation, because I'll start feeling like shit. And I notice the adverse effects of it. So while I sit here on a podcast where we drink,
Let's make a drink.
I'm not.
All right.
Okay, so this is the most mojado ghetto type of mixed drink that you can make. It's just what I like to have. And
What is it called, La Raza?
it's called V8 and tequila.
I want you to get. Yeah, you go with the
Wait,
servings.
Oh, let's make one more. Para la chica.
Where's her cup at?
What's
Oh,
that?
here, I got one right here. Put some ice in there for her.
There we go.
Every now and then, I'll put a little Sprite in it, like if I'm feeling sexy.
Give it a little, give a little fizz.
But for the most part, this is pretty much
Tequila and V8.
tequila and V8.
But this is a V8 Splash, which is a mango peach. It's
Yes.
not a. We're not drinking vegetable juice over here.
Right? Yeah, it's a V8 splash.
Well, I need to explain this to people who aren't watching. You know what I mean?
Right.
Thank you, sir.
We'll go light on her. You're welcome.
She ain't no lightweight.
Well, I don't know, and I am going to be responsible for it. Well, almost.
Whatever.
Cheers.
Cheers.
That tastes a lot like tequila and V8.
That's my thing. Especially, like I said, if it's like that silver, the Sam's Club silver.
Yeah. You
I do that. You can't. Yeah, because if you try to take a shot or sip the other one,
I'm gonna cut to that like right. This DJ's finger.
Oh man. So
but it's simple, and like I said, like on a Saturday afternoon or Sunday, and plus, it's one of those ones that it takes a little while to hit it.
yeah. Well,
So-
that's what I was telling him before you got here. It's like, dude, we're not drinking it straight, so it's not going to be like it normally is. Because normally it hits us in the fucking face within like 10 minutes.
This just tastes like V8.
Well,
This just tastes like V8 in Mexico.
Give it a little time.
I'm not saying that in a derogatory
No, it's
way.
good. It's good,
That
though.
means it's good. That's a good mixer.
And one other thing that I do, and Cheryl's like, "Did you bring fruit?" I was like, "Oh no," because I haven't done it in years. Is I'll get like frozen fruit, just put it in the glass like ice, and then pour the tequila in there.
Hell yeah.
And then
And
that's
just do it just like that.
Yeah, and then it'll absorb it, and it'll stay cold. And then after you're done, you chew the fruit. You eat the fruit after that.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that's how I like that.
Well, I got 2 setups I'm going to do, but we'll finish this and we'll talk about those. But I think just stuff I like to drink, and I do a watered down version of stuff that's over the top with all the sugars and shit.
And this is really the only sugary drink I drink.
Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, you're getting it from fruit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not that. And now there is another another sugar. The only other kind of sugar I drink is Lipton has a Georgia peach tea. And when I'll put this much water and this much of the Georgia peach tea in there.
Yeah.
And so it's like a little bit of a flavored water.
Do you remember when when peach tea came out, like it was a fad. It was like a fad.
When Snapple came out with the peach tea.
It was like, this had to be what, early 2000s?
I remember in the 90s, Snapple had a peach tea.
Late 90s. I just remember it hitting like Sonic and shit, and we were like young.
Oh,
and
okay. You're talking about that? Like when you go to the restaurant, like you got mango tea or peach tea?
And it was like a
it's
fad
syrup.
thing.
Yeah.
And then, they add that shit to it.
Yeah, you
And
remember when
everybody
Sonic
fucked
had
it
like
up.
64 flavors, now they have like 12.
Do you remember when Sonic actually used to have a working slush machine?
They don't anymore?
Dude, I don't.
Not if you go there during their little happy hour.
Not if you go there during business hours.
Yeah.
I don't frequent Sonic. I hadn't been there years, but I remember eating that horrible shit. I can't eat it now.
Well, Cheryl and I have realized too that because we cut a lot of salt out of our diet.
Dude, that shit's solid salt.
Yeah, and then we went to we had my grandson. We took him to I can't remember where we took him to. Like either GeekCon or something like that, and then we went to Zaxby's afterwards. Oh, I shouldn't have said the name of the place, but anyways, we went to this chicken place, and it was like, oh my, the saltiness of the food.
It's crazy. Well,
And-
they brine, all those places brine that stuff for 24 hours. So, I mean, it's loaded.
The sodium, and then like you have the sugary drinks with it too. So it's like I drink water everywhere.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I was in Dallas last week. Did you see my post from
Dude, what
Caillou
the fuck
Ramen?
was that?
Bro,
What was that shit?
it's called.
First off, it looked like you were in Tokyo.
Oh, it was amazing.
Because, did you see his photos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those little fucking pods, you know, where they're eating it and stuff?
Yeah,
I was
and
like,
it's so cool because it's like this. You can't go like this because if you go back, your head hits
Yeah.
the thing. And but it's omu rice, and it's basically like an omelet that's not cooked all the way, and they put it on a bed of fried rice, and then they cut it open and it opens up, and then they put curry sauce on it.
Okay.
But my son was in town this last weekend, and I had a food hangover. I didn't eat anything. I didn't eat anything on Tuesday. I didn't eat anything on Tuesday, yesterday, and but when I ate there, I had a flavor epiphany. It was now I've eaten food from all over the world in all different countries.
You've lived in all.
I've experienced, but there was something about that food and the flavors and how they all combined. Because a lot of people are like, I don't want my egg to be runny. You know, I don't like a runny egg.
Yeah.
The curry is hot, so it kind of helps cook it. And it's plus, it's partial cooking. When it opens up, it just kind of finishes cooking. But all the different textures and all the different flavors in it were amazing. And I had a cherry blossom gelatin dessert with a cherry blossom inside of it. And it was like this clear thing. And Sage had matcha, and I tasted the matcha. It was like feet. I was like, okay, I'm going to do that. But the gelatin, the cherry blossom gelatin, the flavor, it was simple, but the flavor was amazing. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever eaten.
Yeah.
And I came back here, and I was like, okay, well, I didn't eat anything yesterday. And Shirley even came home yesterday. She goes, did you eat? I was like, yeah. She goes, what'd you eat? I said, I don't remember. I'm sure I ate something. She said, I had crackers. That's what I had was crackers. And then today I went to eat, I actually had lunch at a Chinese place that I've eaten before. It tasted horrible today.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, either the Mexican in the back cooking the Chinese food had just learned how to cook Chinese food and is not very good, or I didn't notice how bad it was until I started tasting these types of foods. But
I'm going to tell you this right now. There's not one Chinese place here that's
Authentic.
there's one by my house that I like. I was in South Bossier today. It's where I got the one that I had.
What's the one? Since the one you say you like, what's the name of this place?
The one that I like is by my house.
What's it called?
It's a China Flag, I think. No, it's not China
No,
Flag. It's no.
that's
It's not China
not-
Flag. Forgive me. That place is not where I like to go.
Yeah.
It's right next to Shane's.
Lynn's Kitchen.
No, Lynn's that's
No.
the one over at Stockwell, right?
It's next to Shane's on Brownlee and Airline meet.
There's another Lynn's.
No, it's not a Lynn's. It's
Okay, it's not
it's
Lynn's.
Chinese. This is something Chinese. It's like
There's one in that shopping center.
Yeah,
I
there's a
didn't
little
know
Chinese. It's right next to Shane's. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm pretty sure that's either Lynn or Sue's or something like that.
It's,
That little hole in the wall. You wouldn't know
yeah,
it's there until you
it's
go.
not. Well, I don't know what was there because there used to be like a cookie place there in a corner, but it's right catty corner to the Shell station or the 7-Eleven.
That's
Shell
where I need to
station.
go.
Yeah.
It's really good. I like the Mongolian beef. The crispy beef is really good.
There
I
used
like
to
that.
be when I was that last fight camp I had. There was this place right up from where I lived when I was in South Shreveport, and it was off Ellerby, and it's right next to like the Remax and stuff, and the Subway and that little. And there's Anytime Fitness there on Ellerby. Can't think of the name of it right now.
There's a place there.
It's in my phone probably if I look.
So
it
you
up.
like that place?
But that fucking place had the best General Tso's chicken I've ever had in my fucking life.
Well, that's what
And,
I
like. I would crave it. I would crave it to the point to where I was mid fight camp, or I'd be like 12 weeks out, and then closing into like 6 weeks out. But I would still let myself eat that once a week, and it was so motherfucking good. And I wouldn't even eat it with fried rice. I would eat it with steamed rice, so I felt better about
right.
myself.
Yeah.
But dude, that shit was so fucking good.
Actually, that's what I ordered today. And I was like,
General
okay,
Tso's?
this
Yeah.
doesn't taste like it. The texture is not right. I don't know what this is, but this is not it. But probably the best Chinese I've ever had was in this little tiny hole in the wall in South Carolina that my sister took me to. The flavor was phenomenal. And there's also a really good one right in front of LSU Hospital. There's a little
that
Chinese
fucking
like
place
Jade,
is awesome.
is it Jade Express. Yeah,
Boy.
Jade Express
Bro,
is.
I forgot about that place. So when I
awesome.
was helping run when I was doing mechanic work right out of high school, before I decided I don't want to go in the oil field, I was working on cars. I thought I wanted to make money doing that. We would go down there once a week, bro. Holy fuck, dude. It was so
That's
good.
the only one I think I'd...
Have you been to that one?
Yeah, that's the only one I think I would... If I was to order from one, that's the one.
Well, the one what I like about that place is they make stuff and then we run out. That's it. Like, so if you show up too late, they're like, oh no, we don't have any more of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well at least I know your shit's not old.
Yeah.
Their egg drop soup's very good. Their Mongolian beef's very good. There was just a guy... there's a place called China Inn that was in Bossier.
Oh my God, China Inn.
But it's not...
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
Where was that one at?
I was spoiled with it. from
Where
all that.
Himadora is right now, in front of Big Lots.
That was the best one.
Oh, that was amazing. I've eaten
was
there
the
when I was a
Because
kid.
it wasn't a
Yes,
huge
yes.
spread, but everything tasted fresh.
There's some.
But if you ordered from the dinner menu, dude...
Bro, the
Like
curry
that-
chicken. Oh, no, the curry beef. 4-flavor beef with curry was what I'd order. And
There's nothing I ever had there was bad.
my in-laws, my mother,
Had the little
father-in-law
lion
eat there.
statues out in front of it. And shit. I remember
Sage
that as a
fell.
kid.
You remember
Yeah.
how they had little turtles in there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sage fell in there when he was like 2. Freaked him out. He still remembers that, and they still remember him. But they live right around the corner from me.
Oh, yeah?
And Nancy, was a daughter, who's a real pretty lady, who used to serve you all the time.
Yeah.
They had a meatball, and I told her, I said, I need that recipe because you guys don't have a restaurant anymore, so I need the recipe. She goes, I think my mom's got it. I was like, well, go get her old ass out here because I want that recipe. Because it was just the flavor. But yeah, it didn't have 12, 500 different items, but every item tasted unique.
Yeah.
Had a good flavor, and yeah, I miss it. I miss that place so much because it was
forgot about that
clean.
place.
And then my daughters always used to get the little teriyaki beef, and they'd put like the gelatin, and they'd light it, and they would
Yeah.
fry their little teriyaki steak over
yeah,
it.
the little,
Yeah, the boo-boo platter dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was so good, man. I miss that place.
Yeah.
There's another place that was similar to that was on Kings Highway when you cross the bridge there, right before you get to Shreve City
Mean
on
Garden.
the right. Is that
Oh,
what it
yeah,
was?
yeah. What's
And
the-
it was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is now. I
It's a
don't-
Himadora, El Himadora now, isn't
No,
it?
no, not that one. Not that far down. That one was really good too. But there's one right there on the right when you come over the bridge, that everyone used to like too.
Oh, okay.
It was similar to China
by
Inn.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was similar to China Inn in the fact that the menu is limited and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I used to love that stuff. I don't eat any of that anymore. But I will fuck up some hibachi though.
Do you like Vietnamese food?
Yes.
God,
Have you eaten at
Yes.
Fam's?
Yes.
Fam's full of more. Hold on a second. Don's
Don's Garden.
I've
bro.
been there. Where's that at?
You need to go get the peanut chicken at Don's Garden. That's my favorite.
And
Okay.
the green curry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude.
The green curry is like, I don't like.
Or
I don't wanna
Don's
know
or
why
Dan.
it's
I don't
green.
know.
I just love
Some
it.
Where's
people
it
say
at?
Dan's or Don's right off Uri.
By Fam's? Further down? or-
Right past what's the Chinese spot right there? that's been there forever. They rebuilt it.
What is it?
Oh, it's like a
Daiquiris.
hibachi
You're
place,
Jamie
or
today. It's a Joe Rogan podcast. What is it?
It's gonna be. It don't matter. Chef
Okay.
something. Chef, I don't know.
well, I'm gonna tell you what happened with me at Fam's.
Chang's Garden.
It
so
upset
right
me.
past
Yes.
Chang's Garden.
Okay.
Right
Okay.
there.
Oh, okay. Those little
Don's.
places there.
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked Fam's because they made their own bread. Okay. And I like the pork meatball.
Okay.
I like that. It's my favorite. I love all the carrot. I love all the cucumber. I love, that flavor. And when I walk in there, it reminds me of Hawaii, because where I used to work, it was this place called Puck's Alley, and there was always little restaurants around. First time I had a gyro was in one of those places. Changed my life. Yeah. Every time I'd walk by it or smell it, there was a certain smell. So every time I walk into Fam's, that's that smell. And so I know it's authentic. But the last time I went, it was on a hoagie roll. I'm like, okay, did the guy die that makes the French bread? Because this is not the bread that I want.
Yeah.
And what a lot of people don't understand is how amazing the Vietnamese are with bread. Because the French colonized Vietnam, and they brought their recipes and they brought their flour to Vietnam. And that's why Vietnam has the most amazing French baguettes and rolls and things like that, because of the French.
Have you ever had Vietnamese coffee? Bro, have you had it?
Yeah. You just
Holy
made
shit.
a case for colonization.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it's not all bad. It's not all
Yeah,
bad.
it's not, pretty good.
It's not. See, so how is it? How do you feel?
I'm good. I like it.
How do you feel?
I haven't been drinking at all.
He chunked it down.
I feel like I just took a fucking Xanax, dude.
Yeah, but you know what's great about that? When you haven't drink and you have that first feeling for a minute, then it kind of levels off and you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel awesome.
Yeah. It'll level off and you're just like, okay, yeah. But I remember, I've noticed that lately since I've cut way back, is I'll feel it. I'll drink a little bit. I'm like, oh shit, I got a buzz.
Yeah.
This is weird. Why do I feel this way? And then it'll level out. I'm okay.
Well, now I did drink last night because I didn't want to come in
You wanted
here.
to prep
I didn't
a
want.
little
Yeah, I didn't want to come in here hammered after one ounce. But I started watching Pulp Fiction again because I've never seen it all the way through.
Really?
Bro, when you watch it drunk,
It's like three different
it's
stories.
even better drunk.
And then it comes
And what's
to one
even
story.
funny is Sam Jackson's a friend of mine, and so it's so funny to see him, like,
You're friends with Samuel L. Jackson?
yeah, you didn't know that?
Stop fucking with me, Ben. He's friends with Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, he's met him. They play golf together.
Yeah, we play golf together.
Yeah.
Really cool guy. I like him a lot.
I'm just waiting on him to invite him on this podcast. I wasn't going to ask. Just
Well, I mean, I haven't
shameless
kept in touch with him since he was in Hawaii filming. What was he filming?
I have some ice.
King Kong. Last time I talked to him when he was filming King Kong. He'll message me every now and then, like he's looking for, like, somebody looks for a golf instructor or something. But when they were doing King Kong, he was in Hawaii, and he has his assistant Volney, who's like, it's a cool guy. I call him the Sharpie King because he always has to have a Sharpie around him. Volney, so I called Volney. I'm like, hey, I said, because I live in Hawaii, I'm like, I know where a lot of good golf places are, and Sam likes to golf every weekend. So I contacted some of like the private clubs, and some of them say, hey, you know what, Sam's in town filming. Do you have a member who would be willing to play with him? Because some golf courses, no matter who you are, if you're not playing with them, like Squire Creek, if you're not playing with a member, you can't play.
Oh, okay.
So even when Sam went to go to Squire Creek, I tried to set him up with Squire Creek. They're like, well, he can't play unless he's with the member. I'm like, there was a miscommunication or something like that. So I ended up talking to the general manager, and we ended up Tim Wilhite. Wilhite Electric.
Yeah.
He actually ended up sponsoring him, and they went and they played at Squire Creek.
Okay.
But since I knew a lot of places and a lot of people in Hawaii, I set it up so that Sam could play at, like Oahu Country Club, a couple other places, and so that's kind of like, our relationship, because he was here filming. The first time I met him, he was here filming The Cleaner. And then he came back, I think about a year later, 2 years later, and did Soul Man with Bernie.
That was with Bernie Mac.
With Bernie Mac.
That's when everyone,
Yeah.
Bernie Mac died. That sucked.
Yeah, and it was really interesting because, and I can say it's now because Bernie's passed away, but like every now and then Sam would be like, hey, we're filming over here. If you get a chance, come by. So I went by and I was like, watch him film. It's really, it's really neat. And he has a group. Yeah, go ahead. His group of people, they call him the Jackson Five.
Yeah.
And they're really, it's a cool group of people. But I remember I didn't meet Bernie, but I saw Bernie a lot. And I remember seeing Bernie in the SUV with an oxygen tank. And he was taking oxygen.
No shit.
And I was like, I looked at
And that
Volney.
was a couple of years before he passed, right?
Yeah, but he was sick because I looked at Volney. I'm like,
It was like 06.
I'm like, is that? He's like, didn't say anything. Just kind of went like, you didn't see that. So he, you know, so I didn't get a chance to meet Bernie, but I saw him film a couple scenes and stuff like that. But I didn't, you know, him and the director weren't getting along very well, and the director was, I think, Spike Lee's brother for Soul Man.
Oh, somebody related to Spike Lee wasn't getting along with somebody?
But when he came back to film that, it was kind of like he'd stay at a house on Stonebridge, at Stonebridge when he was filming, and when he came back the second time, it was like old friends. It was really cool because I'm like, man, they just let anybody here, don't they? He's like, man, and we hug each other, and so we pretty much played every weekend, and probably the best experience I had with him was because we always play a skins game, we play a money game, and he won a lot of money off of me. Not that he needed it, but he won it. And there was about an 18-foot putt on the number 9, and it was 3 holes that carried over, and I sank the putt. And he's like, "Dirty motherfucker!" He said that. I realized, I said,
That's
"You know what,
awesome.
Sammy?" I said, "Most people have to pay you to say that, for you to say that, and I got it for free." And he was a really cool guy. But what's really interesting is I forgot who he was. We would go to golf
you're
courses.
talking about like who he was as an actor.
I forgot who he was.
Yeah, right.
Like we'd go play in a golf course, and we'd go in at the turn, and we'd get some food or something like that. We'd about to go out, and people are like stopping him and stuff. I'm like, what? Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Yeah.
He's Sam Jackson. And even sometimes I could tell too. He's like, I just want to play golf. Just come on, man. I just want to do it. But when you're that noticeable, it's very difficult.
Yeah, I bet.
You know, it's very difficult to be able to just walk out on the street and do what you want.
Yeah, I bet. I mean, I think it's weird, right? Because the more attention you get, and the more it's like you want those things, you want to be successful and all that, but then what comes with it, it's like you can't even fucking enjoy a moment to yourself.
Well, I will say that I played golf with a lot of different celebrities, and I love golf because it's the great equalizer. It really is.
Yeah, I don't care who you are.
Doesn't matter who you are. If you can't swing that golf club and you can't putt, go home. But I've played golf with Malik Yoba, who was in, and we're still friends. He was in Cool Runnings. He was the big bald guy. He was Yul Brynner.
Yeah.
A really nice guy. They filmed Thief up here, and so him and Yancy Arias, Yancy and I
remember that,
we met, and then I went down and played with Yancy in Baton Rouge a few years back. So I had this opportunity to put a lot, and it's surprising, and I don't mean to sound sexist, but it's so surprising how many women want an autograph or like opening the shirt, going, can you sign this? And Sam's like, we're on a golf course.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm sorry, I'm not, I mean, he had his standards too and stuff, but I always forget how when people would act out a certain way and it's like, what? And then one time I said, you know what? I said, I never asked him to sign anything. I've got like 2 pictures with him together. I had a magazine that had him, George Lopez, and Anthony Anderson together, standing together. I was like, Sam, I've never asked you to sign anything for, but could you sign this for me? He's like, yeah. He goes, you want me to take this and have George and Anthony sign it? I'm like, yeah. Okay. And he goes, because we're members of the same club. So he had it and he took it. And then right before I left the golf courses, I met him down in Baton Rouge. He was filming Django Unchained.
Yes.
And I met him at the University Club. We played golf. And he goes, Ben, I still got your magazine. It's in my office. It's still sitting. I promise you we'll get it signed. I'm like, it's cool. Don't worry about it. And I still don't have a sign from him. So eventually at some point I'm going to call him and go, hey,
can I get that?
Where the hell's that magazine at that you're going to get signed for me?
Well, his stock is quadrupled since the Avengers, and everything he's doing there.
Yeah, but I will tell you that he's a hard working man.
Yeah. I can only imagine because I don't know, like him and Denzel, like those two, those two guys, like I don't give a fuck.
I didn't meet Denzel. I met his driver.
Yeah.
And I saw Denzel, but Denzel is very private. He's not like an athletic. Like I don't play.
He seems like he would.
He's a very private guy,
which I respect that.
Yeah. So okay, so what are we making next?
All right, so I took this Blanco, which smell it because it almost has a crystalline, like a sweet smell. And this is a Blanco. You smell that?
Yeah, it's like a caramel.
Yeah, and I didn't taste it, which is interesting. So this is going to be interesting.
Well, here's what
That's great. It smells like tequila. Hey, you want to smell it?
You want to let's go a little bit and tell me what you think, because I should have tried that. before I put it in here, but this is what I'm doing. So we're going to do like my traditional margarita, and then we're going to add some Topo Chico. So almost like what are we thinking?
Smooth in the front, heavy in the back.
All right, well, it'll be a
Like
good
on
mix
your
with it.
throat?
Good mix with
It's heavy
it.
on your throat. Let me see.
Oh, your whole mouth. Try it.
Okay.
So
Warm.
we're going.
Go, pendejo.
It's smooth though.
Yeah,
It's nice.
We're
I
going
like
with
it.
that. We're going with that for our
you're
base.
Right now, it burns right here.
Yeah, see? Pendejo
Yeah.
took the whole
We're
thing.
going with that for our base.
Okay.
That lime juice, and that's it right now. We're going to do some agave. You guys probably don't like the stuff as tart as I do, so I'm going to do a good bit of this.
That's fine.
I'm thankful that you're descriptive because I keep forgetting that some
Yeah,
people
because you're
listen
not
to this.
explaining that what's going on
This
here. So.
is good.
Yeah.
I really like it. I've never even heard of it.
So that's something, Cuban liquor, I just found that's new on the shelves. I haven't seen it before.
It says Gold World.
This is, man, hey man, we're drinking cocktails, not tequila. Calm down.
Well, just in case there's not enough tequila in the
I hear you.
cocktail.
I hear you. So we're going to go with this.
That's some
And
crazy shit. It literally says Gold World.
you guys have ice in your cups?
No, but I don't need ice.
Because what we're going to do is we're going to take this.
That's my wife.
And we're going to get a pour.
We should have told her that we didn't see anybody in there, so
Yeah.
she thinks she's
What are you talking about?
These are yours.
Are we paying by the shot, man?
What do you mean? If somebody walked in here, what are you talking about?
We're not done yet.
Like an old man's pee.
We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're not done yet.
Oh, the grapefruit Topo Chico. So now DJ is pouring grapefruit Topo Chico into our glasses.
Was grapefruit?
Yep.
Okay.
It's got a little what do you call that?
And now he is pouring more of the mixed
I'm
concoction.
gonna have to pour some for myself too here.
Oh, yeah, you forgot about
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Too busy pouring for everyone else. Old habits.
Cup runneth over.
So do you, as a rule, enjoy cocktails over?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And the only reason why is like they have to be like something craft, right? So
We're good.
yeah, they have to be something craft. And if this is, I did not measure this, and I shot from the hip here. So if it's not good, I don't give a shit. But I will tell you this: that normally it is good if I sit here and measure everything out. But I just kind of threw it together. But essentially, what I'm doing is making a fresh margarita. No, that's for something else.
Oh.
Making a fresh margarita
Fine.
without the sweet and sour and everything. So we just have lime juice, agave, tequila.
Okay.
Normally we'd add some triple sec if we're making an actual margarita maybe, or some, but we're adding Topo Chico to it to give it that little sexiness you were talking about, a little fizz. And if you don't like it, man, hey, I should have put my sweeten it up a little bit more.
No, that's good. I like that. That's very good.
Hey, you're not gonna hurt my feelings. What do you think?
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like to taste tequila.
You're not tasting much there.
You don't taste much of it.
Yep.
Yeah. So to me, I mean,
But I do like to
But
taste
it would
it.
be dangerous if I drank a lot
But
of
here's
this.
why I made it this way. A lot of people, if I make it how I like it, I like to taste the tequila, but then it turns everyone off. So that's why I added a little bit more agave, and that's why I put the Topo Chico in there to kind of balance
I can taste the agave.
Yeah.
I feel like with Ben's drink, like me and my homie Miguel were just chilling in the hood and like, you know, we're like pre-gaming, and then we just went to a nice cocktail bar. And then now we just had that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So we're at JV.
he's like, bro, I got some tequila and some VA, bro. You trying to pregame, bro?
You're
Like,
pre-gaming, bro. You're pre-gaming.
It's good though. I like that. There's a flavor in there that I can't put my finger on, and I don't know if it's could be the grapefruit.
I think it's got some of the tequila too.
Yeah, I think it's tequila.
Because that's not your regular run-of-the-mill silver.
Because by itself,
It's got a sweetness to it.
I like the flavor of it, and mixed with this, it's just as nice.
That is refreshing.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I'm gonna do a way more enhanced one for y'all next, but we'll get to that.
You know what it tastes? Okay, it tastes like
that's
baby
this one?
powder.
What?
What
Tastes like baby powder.
Say
Baby powder.
Because the grapefruit is doing that to your tongue.
Yeah.
Taste it.
Yeah.
Speaking of baby powder, when is yours due?
In the January 30th.
Boy or girl?
Oh, it's a girl.
It's
That's
What did you
That's
do?
all he makes is girls, bro. You
Now-
know,
now your first-
statistically, they say that if your testosterone level is higher, that you make more you reproduce more females.
My testosterone high as hell, boy.
There you go.
okay.
I didn't divulge. That's not That's not that person.
So you have your first children were twins, right?
Twins.
So
Girl.
God really has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. How old are they?
3. They'll be 4 in April.
3, 4 in April. Okay. And then you're having another girl.
Mm-hmm.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, man. We're excited.
Are you?
What's her name?
You're actually Lily.
Yeah, I'm
Really?
excited for you.
Aw,
Why wouldn't I be
Lily.
excited, man? What are you talking about? It's not my kid. So yeah, I'm excited. If it was mine, I'd be like, fuck up. I wasn't planning another one. These are half grown.
Well,
You know?
here's the thing. Here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to try one more time.
Ooh, man. Let this one get out and move around first a little bit. before
Yeah,
we start talking about all
exactly.
that, dude.
Just have Irish twins, get it over with. You know what I'm saying?
Now, is it? And I'm trying to remember. The twins. Does that come from your line or your wife or their mother's line when you had them?
Man, I can't. Well, they're the 5th set of twins on my side of the family.
Okay.
So I would guess.
So genetically, you've had more twins. Than,
But the thing is, though, because they're fraternal, I think that actually has to do with the mother.
Okay.
If they're identical, then that has to do with the father.
My wife would know the answer to this question.
And the reason why I say that is because that was a matter of my ex-wife. Jesus Christ, my ex-wife. But during implantation, dropping more eggs than normal.
Okay. And I don't mean to interrupt your egg talk.
I'm done.
And this is weird. I taste like, and maybe it's just because I bathed my grandson, but it's like
Maybe
a baby
about it.
shampoo.
I think that's the grapefruit
You
in the
smell it?
top. I think that's the grapefruit in the top of Chico. Because it's, what do they call that shit when they, like,
Scented.
Damn it, Ben.
Yeah.
Why'd you say that?
now that's what I taste. God damn, why don't you do
Kinda
it?
like a spicy Sprite to me.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like a spicy Sprite. It's to me, it's like,
It is like that baby shampoo, dude.
yeah, it's got a
It's
baby
there. It's
shampoo
that.
flavor.
What do
It
they
still
call
tastes
it?
good, though.
What do they
No,
call
it tastes
that?
great.
What do they call that shit?
It's
Like when
no
they-
tears, like Johnson Johnson.
No. When they do that to drinks, they put the infusion. It's like infused
Aromatics.
Yeah.
Oh.
Aromatic, whatever the fuck.
Aromatics.
Yeah, aromatic. So like that's what it is. It's got that grapefruit. Because typically I do it with regular Topo Chico, but I had these at the house because here's what I've been doing when I go home. Instead of getting me a drink, I'll just drink one of these straight up.
It's
So
like
you-
having a
so
beer.
your body- yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I got the grapefruit flavor this time, but the I usually make this with regular.
It kind of smells
Sometimes,
like weed.
and you know that
Hold
makes.
on.
What?
It kind of smells like weed. A little bit.
Oh,
No, I
God,
don't know
weed
what
are
you're
you
talking
smoking?
about.
You didn't smoke weed a lot, man. Don't even lie, dude.
I don't smell any weed.
No, I was a secondhand smoker.
We're going all in on this next one. Okay, it's gonna be much better.
No, but it's good. No, I like it. And that's
I really
the thing.
enjoyed this.
It's like I've never been like the only real mixed drink that I really liked was this place in Baton Rouge. They had a drink called the Georgia Peach, and it was a martini. Amazing.
Martini made with vodka.
No idea.
Vodka problem.
All I know is one of the board members ordered it for me. I had it, fell in love with it.
All right, we're gonna do this with Cristalino, which is kind of a
Hell
disgrace.
yeah.
Kind of a disgrace, but
No,
I
that's
need
the
to
best
taste
tequila
this.
there is.
I gotta taste it first.
You know what we need to do next time is premix the mixes
So
and then try a different tequila in each one and see which
Do
tequila
that.
tastes better
Do
with
that.
it.
I just kind of this is my first time, you know.
You got.
I'm gonna borrow this, and I'm gonna borrow this.
Okay, how much is he?
Dude, he's already lit. I'm gonna borrow this, and we're all gonna taste this before we mix
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Talk about the V8.
Cazadores, Cristalino.
straight.
I want to taste it straight. Yeah, see if it tastes like ass.
Oh, I
just
wasn't
like
drinking all that. I was gonna share it. It tastes like shit.
Very caramelly
It tastes
again.
like shit. No, it's not even caramel.
It tastes like shit. You just
tastes
said.
just a little bitty. Just
I don't-
wet your whistle.
You say, hey man, it tastes like shit.
not
Drink
good.
it. No, I mean, no.
All right, so this is what I'm doing. It's not good. How's that a Cristalino?
I don't know if the power goes out though. This will
Dump the
run your
rest of it
generator.
Get it in there. We're gonna mix it. What I'm doing is gonna
Why'd
take all
you do
that
that?
because it's gonna take all
If I
that.
throw up, Cheryl, it's because of this. Rat.
No, we're gonna go back to this.
What did you?
Let's go to El Let's go with your tequila.
All right, here.
Yeah, it's fine. The city
I'll mix
of this
tequilas.
You
great.
just mix them all if you're just gonna do that.
We're just gonna do a what's it called? Suicide. Remember? You see that with all the mixed drink. The
It's
drink.
gonna be fine.
Yeah, me and my uncle used to do that.
They all
Be
come
like,
from the
dude,
same shit. All right, so that was probably. What was that about?
That's about 2 ounces.
ounces.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. So that's gonna be our base. Using this.
So what are you
El
gonna do
Tequilino.
different with this kid that you did with the other two? But what do you plan on doing different?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Really, truly nothing.
There's nothing that you said, you know what? This one I'm going to do this and not that, or I'm going to be a different way in a certain way.
No,
because
I really want to raise them the same way I'm raising my girls right now.
good.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, you feel pretty confident in your
okay.
methods.
So you don't like learning from your mistakes. Okay, that's cool. I like that.
No.
So we're going with this one.
I'm just fucking with you. Man.
I know, but like,
Are you okay with some jalapeno in your drink?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
We're not gonna do like okay. I asked the Hispanic gentleman if he wants jalapeno. No, but
You mean like to put over my eyes when I'm resting? Okay.
So we're going with this. With this one, we're going to go tequila base. We're going to do an unsweetened pineapple juice. So this has absolutely no added sugar. It's all fresh pineapple juice.
Nice.
Can I use this?
Yeah.
Nice.
No,
Okay. So I'm just kind of trying to get some half-assed measurements here. So we're going to go. We went 1 part tequila. Then we're going to go 1 part pineapple. I don't want it to be
Too sweet or too?
no, I don't want it to be too
Acidic?
tart. Yeah, too acidic because then it's going to screw up what we're doing. So we'll do that, and then I want a little bit of agave in there.
Let me see that. The agave.
Go for it.
I just want to.
And then we're going to do some fresh limes. Actually, squeeze them in there,
No, it's not the smell. There's a smell. There's a smell in this. Little
and I'm going to
string.
leave these in there and let the skin sit in there too,
Okay.
because I want to use that mixer.
I think like a point to be made though about, because that's actually a thought-provoking question. I think in my particular instance, I mean, obviously, like with the mother of my kids, I mean, we got divorced. We shouldn't have been together. And I'm not bad-mouthing her. It's just what it is. She's a lot happier. and
Well,
I'm a
1
lot
part lime too. I'm not interrupting you. Go ahead.
But like where that's concerned in terms of raising the children, her and I have
Just
always
twist it off.
Her and I have always parented the children very well, and we still do.
Right.
And the thing is, like with my current wife, like I think the only mistake I could have made would have been trying to stay in a marriage that I shouldn't have been in the first place.
Well, that's what so many people do, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people, and they use that as a crutch. You know how many times in my life I've heard that? We stayed together for the kids. I think that's absolute dog
That's
shit.
fucking horrible.
Because it's worse on them and it's worse on you.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay. I have.
Oh, you have an opinion?
I have a different opinion on that.
Uh-oh.
Okay. It depends on what point in your life you're in.
Okay.
When you just starting out,
Calling it early.
Better to go ahead and do it then. Yeah.
yeah. But I do think that when, because for example, and this is in no way, this never happened to Cheryl and I, but you know, like, oh, we stayed together for the kids. No, but if it ever got to the point where it was like, okay, because Cheryl had 2 children when she had 2 daughters when I met her, and I was a type of person where it's like, look, if I'm going to commit, I'm going to commit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, period, no matter what. And we've had our hard times, we've had our ups and downs, we've
Well,
had
that's
our
part of marriage.
we've had our I mean it's part of marriage, but when you look at the thing of it, it's my life. My life involves these 2 beautiful girls, my son, and my wife. I stay with her for my life. I stay with her for this environment. This not here. I've got ice in it already.
You gonna go with this one?
Yeah, I'm going with it. If it came to it, yes, I would stay with her. At that point, I would have stayed with her just for the kids, because as a parent, your responsibility is also to sometimes keep your mouth shut and not let your children know about what's going on in your lives.
Yeah.
That's not their responsibility. They don't even know about
Right.
it. And if you 2 of you can't get along, then just don't hang out with each other.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, Cheryl and I have a big enough house that whenever her and I were upset with each other, it's hard to be when you work together, but, you know, which is kind of a blessing because you can't hold a grudge or you can't not talk to the person that you work with every day.
Well, but
This is
here's
true.
the thing that I get that, but we're just talking about misunderstandings. We're not talking about a toxic,
Right. Yeah,
environment
yeah, no,
to
yeah,
where it's
yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
miserable for everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
You know, I
if
get it.
you had a relationship where the kids know that you hate each other, you know you hate each other, and you're
So the child believes that a relationship can only thrive if you hate the other person.
Right. Yeah. So I think.
Well,
yeah.
inadvertently they believe that. I mean, that's irrational. Obviously,
Well,
that's
it is
like,
irrational, but it's just
But then
that point of view.
Yeah, but inadvertently they will. A child, they're going to seek out
We need some more agave.
Like whatever
Too tart.
example of.
That's why I put some in there.
I'm gonna try it first without.
Okay. Hit them, and then I'll mix them. Whatever example of love that they
I like
see.
it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Whatever example of love that they see, or whatever they perceive as love whenever they're a child. Whatever they perceive as love whenever they're a child, that's what they're going to mimic that.
Yeah.
Even if it's completely wrong. You know? Right. So I mean that's my whole thing is like that was my whole point in saying what I just said. It was like, and I think y'all get what I'm talking about. I mean,
as far as raising the child, you're not going to do anything different in how you love the child. You're just going to maybe be different in
well, my children now currently, the cool thing is they get to see their mom with a dude that really loves her and she really loves him, and it's a cohesive relationship. They get to see their dad with a girl that he really loves and she really loves him, and it's a cohesive relationship. Yeah. So then it's like
there's a security there that's
you enhance the environment.
Amazing.
Man. You enhance the environment.
I mean, that's what you want at the end of the day.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so as far as like bedtimes and what you let them be exposed to, it's going to be the same way across the board all the way.
Yeah, dude. Because I mean, like
Ninja Turtles.
You know what I'm saying, dude? Like 3 years old. That's the Ninja Turtle age. First off, and then second off, like, I mean, fuck, we're listening to Ninja Turtle, or we're watching Ninja Turtles now. We're listening to Prince. What else are we doing that's cool as shit? Dude, they're playing, like, Marsha's playing basketball. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got the hand mitts. She's like, you know, beating the shit out of me.
Well, when they get old, I mean, and that's great that you do that now, because when they get older, they become your friends. And when you said that, like with music and stuff, this last time that Sage and I, because every time, I go pick them up, we come back, we share each other's music. You know, I've told you this before.
Yeah.
And this last time, what we decided to do was do the top 100 songs of the years that we graduated.
Oh,
your top 100. That's a lot of fucking music to remember.
But
how long did it take you to figure all that out?
No, it was on YouTube. Billboard Top 100.
Oh, you looked at. Oh, I thought you picked your own.
No, hell no. I'm not that. I got that much time. No.
I'd be way too.
Billboard. It was like a Billboard Top 100 of the year that he graduated.
Nice.
And then the year that I graduated.
Yeah.
And what's funny is listening to him sing so many of the songs. Like, oh my God, I forgot about this. He's singing it.
Yeah.
And then also listening to the lyrics and how a lot of them sounded alike. Mm. And then we did my year, and I was like, dude, I remember this song,
Yeah.
And so, and then, so it really brought us to two things. First of all, is you got to see how a song about eating ass is now in 2015 is acceptable.
Yeah.
And we're talking about seeing you at school. Can't wait to see you at school in 1991.
Yeah.
And so the music and I always told Sage we should have had a YouTube channel called There's a Generation Gap, because I would show him stuff, and I mean throughout his whole life we've shared our interests, and I've never not try to share stuff with him, and a lot of times he'll do stuff, say, Dad, check this out. I'm like, okay, well, there's a generation gap, because I don't get that at all. And so he has an opportunity to experience some of the things that I did. Yeah. And then we had my grandson a couple weeks ago, and I was sharing with Hunter the music Pop-Up likes, and my ringtone is Fuel by Metallica.
Yeah.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me. And then when it goes off, as soon as it starts, he goes, give me that which I desire, and he starts singing. Right, he's jumping up and down. So it's really funny. And so I was like, Butterbean, I'm going to share with you Papa's favorite song, some of his favorite songs, and I shared with him September by Earth, Wind and Fire.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I remember.
And then we did Let's Groove, Let's Groove by Earth, Wind and Fire.
Yes.
And then we did one other one.
Man, that was.
We did
year
some.
Was that?
We did. No, that was a long time.
Yeah, 79.
That came in the 70s. Yeah.
But I
remember
that era of music, like all that shit, like Billy Ocean. That was a little later. But then, like, you have like Daz Band, Gap Band. I fucking love Gap Band, dude.
Okay, but
I
you
will,
remember,
like, if Gap Band comes on, dude, it's over with.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah,
that is my shit.
Let it whip. Yeah,
Let it whip. All
baby.
of it, dude. But like, what's the other one? With the damn, where they got the cowboy boots and they all in the blue suits.
Pop, boom, pop, boom,
Yeah.
pop, boom, pop, boom.
Shit. That's some good shit, dude.
Yeah, that's some good
You
music.
talking about that music video where they're on the beach and shit?
No.
They're all in
was-
jumpsuits and cowboy hats.
The one in the beach is when they get in the boxing ring.
Yeah.
That's Gap Band. That's another one. Right now I can't think of the names of them. But
That's something train. What train?
Party Train.
Party Train.
Everybody. Yeah. That one. The other one's even better. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So it's really when I was younger, we would travel. We had a van. We lived in Clovis, New Mexico, and we lived at Cannon Air Force Base, and my grandparents lived in Las Cruces. And it was about a 4-hour drive from Clovis to. I mean, we'd lived much further from them before, but it was basically we could take a weekend trip to Grandma and Grandpa's house.
Is your dad or your mother Hispanic? Was your mother?
They're both.
Okay, they're both Hispanic.
They're both
Okay,
Hispanic.
gotcha.
They're both Hispanic.
Okay.
One though is Spain Hispanic. The other one's Mexico
Gotcha.
Hispanic.
Okay.
But
We just never clarified that. We always talk
yeah.
about it. I was just wondering.
Yeah. But I remember 3 cassette tapes from my childhood, and it was always. I have this affinity. I know I've talked about this before. About Sunday afternoons are my favorite time of the week, because I remember Sunday afternoons we'd leave my grandmother's house, and we'd leave in the afternoon. So I had this feeling of sadness and happiness and knowing that we're going to get in the truck and we're going to get in the car, we're going to ride, we're going to get in the van and we're going to ride home, and it's stuck with me even to this day. Sunday afternoon is my favorite. But there was 3 cassettes. One was Earth, Wind and Fire's greatest hits that my dad would play, and I remember every one of those songs. And I had texted him one time. I said, "Dad," I said, "thank you for playing that music so much." I said, because to this day it brings back memories. It floods me with memories, and it makes me get up and dance. I mean, it makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Sometimes you put on songs, it just makes you feel good. That makes me feel good. And then Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And Dancing on the Ceiling by Lionel Richie.
There we go.
I know every word to every one of those songs, and it was a cassette. I mean, that was it. We didn't have iPads, we didn't have a laptop. We didn't, it was like, I remember we went to Altus, Oklahoma one time, and I read the book The Outsiders.
I love that book.
Yeah, I love that book too.
It's a good book, man.
Stevie Wonder, Stay Gold.
Yep.
One of the best songs for a movie ever made. And so I remember these things from my childhood. And so when I became a parent, I wanted a van. I wanted a big van so that I could take my family on road trips, because they're, whatever, but they were the best times of my life. And so my children remember the van. And when I bought it, it had a TV, it had TV and a VCR in it, and Toy Story 2 was the cassette that was the VHS that was always in there. And Sage was probably, he was 2000, he was probably 4 years old when I bought it. And when we bought it, I bought it from Chevyland. I brought it home, and Cheryl, and I don't know where the girls were, but Cheryl and Sage and I went to Tyler to go eat at this Mexican restaurant called Juanita's that we used to love, and it's not there anymore. But I bought the van, two reasons. One, because I had a business and I had to tow a trailer, but secondly, because I wanted my children, my goal in life was to take them and away from here, bringing them back, but to take them away from here, to go visit different places, to go see different things. And I thought, okay, you can plug in a PlayStation, you can plug in a game console. I was trying to do everything I could to make my children comfortable and happy in a road trip, because I remember what it was like to sit in the truck for 6 hours and just look out the window.
Yeah.
And so I really wanted that for them, and so we had that. And I ended up selling that van to a parts place because I just wore it to the ground. I never sell any of my cars. I keep them until they die. But my goal and my dream has always been, I told my wife too, I told Cheryl this when I married, I said, I want to buy a bus. I want a bus. I want a Prevost. I want a bus. And I want to take my grandchildren to the Grand Canyon. I want to take, and we've talked about this before. I said, but this is what I want to do. I want to take them. And now there's a company that you can rent a bus and travel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boom, there you go.
Yeah. You talking about like a...
I'm talking like a Prevost XL45, $2 million rolling house.
Yeah.
Is what I'm talking about.
So like an RV, like a legit, like a
tour bus. Like you
tour
see
bus.
bands
I
like
thought you were talking about like...
he's not talking
like a
about
converted school bus.
Well, yeah,
sport train.
those are badass too.
Oh, no, they're good too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not granola like that.
No, he's trying to go over. The
Yeah, I'm
top.
not going to go to Home Depot and make my cabinets
That's
out
my
of it.
goal. Like my goal, which I've had this conversations with. We talked about it. We probably talked about it too. But my goal is in the.
That's very good.
You like it, right?
I like it.
All right.
It's a good
Well,
flavor.
before I get on that, let's talk about what's in
Great
this.
drink.
So right now we went with the El Tequila. How the fuck you say that?
Tequila?
Yeah, that we went in there, and then we did no sugar added pineapple juice, and then we squeezed some fresh lime in there, a little bit of agave, and then we threw a couple slivers of jalapeno in there. Shake it up real good. Pour it on ice. It's got a little bit of little tiny kick to it, but not too much.
I can taste that the jalapeno just on the sides and
Yeah.
the back, but it's pleasant.
It meets well with the pineapple, but you got to do it with. You can't do it with like some sweet ass pineapple juice. You got to do it with the unsweetened pineapple
Yeah.
juice because of the acidity, and you add the agave. And so these drinks that I drink, they don't have any added sugar. So like, I know drinking may not be healthy for you, but at least I'm trying to drink. Like if I'm having a cocktail, it's something that's not a fucking pre-made daiquiri from somewhere where you go.
I may end up buying some of that non-sugar pineapple and using that instead of the V8.
We also had some lime juice, regular lime juice in there too. I forgot to mention that, but yeah.
Because again, like my favorite is just that. That's my favorite kind of tequila. But when I buy,
I like
tequila-
doing that too, but a lot of times in a controlled environment, you got to kind of
That's
pick and
actually a
choose.
lie because you said you could run your car on that kind of tequila, right?
Say what now?
That was a lie though, because you said you could run your car on that tequila, so you don't like that particular type of tequila.
What the hell did you just say? I can't-
You said that you could run your car on that type of tequila.
oh no! Run my car on this one.
Like a Selena.
Oh, this is a
This
different
one.
one.
Yeah.
That's what's
one
in the cup.
Is in
Yeah.
here? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Actually,
I was like, blah, 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 blah. Was that English?
I mean, I was saying words. We're going to do a playback too.
Well, please do because yeah. Well, maybe if we actually have it all the way to the end, because I was saying some really good stuff at the end of the last podcast, and it cut out.
Well, I'm not going to blame that on him. That was that's my software.
It really wasn't.
It's my software, and that's why we went straight. We're back. Look, we're taking it back. We're straight analog now. I started all this shit, try to get advanced, and now we're taking it back to analog recording system where we don't have no glitches, no interruptions, no way files are merged or fuck up, and we're not losing any digital files, so it's all right here. So if the machine fucks up and the SD card doesn't read, then we're fucked.
Then we're screwed.
We don't have any backup.
Yeah, but it's not. It's
We
not-
might need to
it's
figure
not
out a way
what-
to.
But you know what?
Can we
Honestly,
run a digital backup somehow? How is that? Is that possible? Well, I don't want to know right now. We'll talk
through
about
a
it later.
board.
well, honestly
Yeah.
though, I mean, it's even if it doesn't record, I never get upset because we had a great
Sometimes
time.
we be saying shit we shouldn't be saying.
Well, we we got.
Yes, God.
We'll find those episodes somehow. The lost episodes, man. And
Well, you
there's
know-
bits and pieces of some of them we can mend together at one day.
I will say this, and since I'm drunk now, I'm going to say it.
okay,
I
all right.
I messed up.
What'd you do?
I actually, and I have to come clean. I did the worst possible thing you probably think of, and
You wasted tequila.
I'm very upset about it. And I never thought I'd do it, and I did it. And I've got to make a confession. I made a comment on a Facebook post.
What
And,
Facebook post?
A Facebook post on a group, a Lamborghini group.
Okay.
And I said, I never post, I never comment, I never do any of this because I don't. I like it and I move on.
Are you in Facebook jail right now?
No.
Okay, it's
I
not that bad
actually,
then.
I said there was this picture of all these Lamborghini Countaches in this one place, and I was like, oh, cool Photoshop.
You said
They
what?
lit your ass up.
Lit
didn't they?
my
They lit
ass
your ass up.
up. And one guy texted me, hey, why don't you let the adults enjoy it and go back to the playground? And I was like,
What that was like some second
Okay.
grade.
Yeah, that's
and I was like, okay.
Shit.
I actually worked for Lamborghini in the 90s. When did you work for them?
Oh, you hit it. Oh, you went ahead and give. Okay, you gave some logic.
I started working. I said, I was like, oh yeah, sorry, my bad. But when I drove them, I don't remember being this size next to this one being that size. And there was like this whole thread going down, and it started getting to this point where I was like, okay, I'm going to delete my.
When did this happen?
This happened about a month ago.
So this is, and you haven't talked about it.
I haven't talked about it.
This is great.
I haven't
This is
talked about
great.
it.
This is great.
And this guy's like, yeah, it's not this, it's that. Please, let the adults enjoy. And I'm like, bro, if you knew how many Lamborghinis I've driven, if you know I know that fender and that is not on that car, if you know that I know that I know, and it was kind of like, okay, do I go and light them up, or do I just go, you know what? it's not important.
You can turn off notifications for specific posts.
But here's the deal. My name is on the post. I posted to this group because this is what I felt. And then some other people were coming in going, you know what? You're right.
Oh, so you had a little backup.
Yeah, it's like that sizing, those two Countachs are the exact same year. They're right next to each other.
How fresh was the post once you commented on it? Was it just made like
it was just made? Yeah.
Okay,
it was
so
like
you commented on it fresh.
I commented on it fresh. Yeah, all that stuff. And then
so there was absolutely no type of there was no type of motive or anything. It was no comments were on it yet.
I was like, that is really cool because I thought, man, somebody took the time to put all these Lamborghini Countachs.
Oh, you really meant it. You weren't being a dick. You're like, this is a cool Photoshop.
Like, this is really cool. This is really cool. Somebody took the time to do this.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it going, okay.
And then they started being mean.
Size.
I'm extremely particular when it comes to my vehicles, and I only recommend those who are the same way. That's why I always recommend SBC Autos. They take pride in their inventory, from badass four-wheel drives, clean classic cars, and even your everyday grocery getters. They have it all. No hassle, no BS. SBCautos.com.
Wise, they don't match up. It's just really a cool thing. And it's like, it's the Japan background. And now I do know that in Japan, they love their Lamborghinis. But the setting it wasn't right. It's like, okay, just something in my brain was like, that was really cool that somebody did that. That was really cool. And then, people telling me I don't know what I'm talking about and all this. I'm like, that's like telling me I don't know about tortillas or something. It's like
you don't though, because you like flour and not corn.
Yeah, I like flour.
But he likes homemade flour.
I like homemade flour. Man. I like burn patches. You don't have burn patches, take it away. I don't need it. Speaking of tortillas, I have a black lab now. He's about this big. He's a baby horse, and I made the mistake of putting tortillas on the counter.
Oh, he ate them. Yeah, fuck yeah.
He ate one bag.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of buying another bag and leaving it on the counter. He ate that bag. And then I made the mistake of buying another bag of tortillas and leaving it too close to the counter, and he ate those. So it was all my fault. I don't blame him. It was my fault, according to my wife, that the dog ate the tortillas.
On Papa watch, vato.
But he's really good. I've known him since he was a puppy. I've known him since he was this big.
Yeah.
And I have a picture of me sleeping with him.
Thank you.
And he's this big. Thank you very much. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
I usually don't drink out of big glasses.
Happen? We're mixing stuff up, so
yeah.
it is what it is.
And so, I've known him since he was a puppy, and so he's the most beautiful black lab you've ever met. But anyways, going back to tortillas, I made the mistake of leaving tortillas where he could reach them. So I apologize for that. That my dog
ate tortillas.
Yeah, three times. Yeah, can't blame the dog.
Well, what do we think about this? So you guys like this one?
I like this one. I'm just slowing down because I don't want to be plastered.
Do we want to do another round of this one?
Yeah.
I don't.
All right. No, I know you don't, but I'm talking.
Well, let the adults. Let the grown-ups. No, I'm kidding.
Let the grown-ups drink tequila.
You liked it? Okay, good.
Yeah, I like that it's not sweet.
I don't like anything too sweet. And I like that if you're going to put fruit in something that you taste, like it tastes like you're drinking fruit. Not that you're eating fucking candy.
I'm finna call an audible. Can I have the Topo Chico, please?
You want to add it in there?
Hell yeah.
Water it down a little bit?
Put some of this in?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's really good.
No, I don't.
That's almost like that Laco.
Well, that's what the good thing about the Topo Chico is you can, if you want to run it back,
like
you want to run it back a little bit, you can throw it in there.
I love that shit.
That'd be good with some grenadine in it.
Yeah, but that just fucks my whole,
What is grenadine again? I forget.
It's just sugar.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's just red sugar. I ain't mad at it.
Do you want some more agave? You good? All right, cool. That's sugar.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That'll knock down some of the bitterness. That's why I put a little bit in there, because everyone's different, right? Like, especially if you're used to having a cocktail and you're having a mixed drink from somewhere that puts 10 different syrups in it, you know what I mean, and some sweet and sour mix, and so you end up with a drink that has 40 grams of sugar, where in this drink you're going to have, if we're drinking a 4 to 5 ounce cocktail here, we're only looking at like 25 grams of sugar. Mm-hmm. And it's natural sugar from the agave, and it's from the pineapple, sugar, and you have absolutely no,
Take a shot of that.
What is this one?
That's
this.
Take a shot of it after that. Yeah,
because I haven't had it straight up yet. This is okay.
You want me to explain to you guys ADD like in one sentence?
What's going on here?
I heard yes, but
that is fucking got to be a Cristalino.
I heard DJ say
Blanco.
I heard DJ say everybody's different, and I heard everything else he said, but I couldn't stop thinking about the fact that everybody has different fingerprints. That trips me the fuck out. Think about that.
Yo,
everybody's got different fingerprints, bro.
Ask my wife about me talking about something and then going from one thing to another to another to another to another, and then ending up somewhere had nothing to do with what the original conversation.
ADD.
ADHD.
Mine doesn't have the H. I don't know why.
I had the H. And it's really interesting. Somebody in my family told me a while back that they didn't understand how come I didn't have compassion.
Oh, okay. Well, how did this come about? Was it over something?
Well,
was it over an argument that they
you have compassion? You're not a narcissist, dude. You're cool.
Let's begin with every Mexican family. Anytime somebody sneezes,
so this is on your side of the family.
You got to rub Vicks on them.
I thought you said dicks. I was about to say this.
You got to rub
weird.
Vicks on them. Oh, right. But
Giggity.
Throughout my life growing up, when somebody was sick or ill, or my mom would call me or say, "Oh, mijo, so and so is this and so and so that," I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I hope they get better," and I move on with my life. Okay.
Right.
Well, it was pointed out to me that certain people in growing up had thought that I had no compassion, and I read something a while back, and it made perfect sense to me. And it's called people who are neurodivergent, which are ADHD people. And they lack compassion because the first thing they do is try to put themselves in that situation and think about, how would I resolve that situation? How would I handle a situation? What would I do? We take it from conception to death in an instant. And people who call us with news expecting us to fall down crying or expect us to... My grandmother passed away. I knew she passed away. She told me she actually had chosen to go ahead and stop, to stop living, or basically tell doctors, look, I'm done.
Oh, DNR.
Yeah. And I had a conversation with her, and I talked, and she told me, she said, "Mijo," she goes, I'm so tired. I'm ready. I'm like, well, Grandma, I said, you earned it. You deserve it. And then when I got off the phone with her, I called my wife. I'm like, that was a harder conversation than I thought it was going to be. Mm-hmm. But when aunts die, when cousins die, when people get sick, when people have health issues, when things that, I don't fall on my knees, start crying, and light a candle. Okay?
Yeah, I mean,
I just basically go, okay, all right, what are they going to do? Because, and I never knew this until I read about it, that my brain goes to a point that goes, okay, let me put myself not only in their shoes, but in their spouse's shoes, their children's shoes, their grandchildren's shoes, their cousins' shoes, their parents' shoes. And my brain is occupied by doing this versus going, oh my God, poor things. I hope they... And it's perceived as me not caring, when deeply I care so much. I'm trying to figure out how I would do this, how I would handle it, how I would... If something happened to my child, if this happened to one of my children, what would I do? How would I handle it?
Well, really, it's so you can better help your family members. Like, that's the thing. Like, and I'll get off. We talked about my uncle the last time I got drunk with you guys on here, but
yes.
Did that one release? Yeah, that one did.
It did.
Yeah, that
We were talking about you masturbating.
Wait, what? No. I'll tell
your mom.
I'll tell it again.
That was a great episode.
No, I'll tell it again.
His mom thought he had an STD. Or he thought he had STD.
I'm gonna tell it again.
You basically chapped your wee-wee.
No, I'm telling that shit again because that shit was hilarious. Shit was hilarious. I was 19 years old and I just started.
19?
Yeah. And I just started having promiscuous sex. And
define promiscuous from your
like you didn't know her last name, or just
no, I really didn't know her last name.
Cousin,
and
your opinion.
And my mom's a RN. Okay, my mom's a RN, and like I had a sore down there, and I'm like shit. And I'm like, Mom, is this a STD?
Previously on Tequila Talk.
Yeah. And I'm like, Mom, is this an STD? And she's like, fuck, let me see it. And then I was like, and I'm all like tripped out, and she's like, "You're just fucking too much."
It's just road rash, bro.
Yeah, it's just road rash. Like, you're just fucking too much.
It's a thing called lubrication.
Long story short, now going back, now moving on to my uncle who blew his brains out. I remember whenever my mom, like whenever she told me though that he did it, it's the same shit, man. Like she told me what happened, and I went, "Okay, so what are we doing now?" Like it was just immediately like, so let's go, because I know.
And I don't know if that's a defense mechanism.
Because later, I break the fuck down, like way later.
Because when my mom died, I got a call from my aunt. And she goes, Ben, your mom fell down but it doesn't look good. I'm like, doesn't look good? Like, she's got to go to the hospital, something like that? And I probably talked about stuff I have. Please forgive me.
No, you're good, man. It don't matter.
And I'm like, okay, so we're talking back and forth. And then my dad calls me. And he goes, okay, mijo, she's in the back. They're taking a look at her. She fell. They think it's her heart. She was in the shower. She fell. My brother-in-law, praise God, is EMT, and he actually got the call. So he had to go see his mother-in-law on the floor. But anyways, so they took her to the hospital. They couldn't revive her. And then my dad called me and goes, mijo, she goes, she didn't make it. I'm like, what do you mean she didn't make it? She didn't make it to the hospital? She didn't make it. She's home? So she's gone. And I don't know if it was shock. I don't know what it was, but I was like, okay, all right, so this is the situation now, so let's do this. What are we going to do? So I asked my dad, I'm like, what do you want me to do? What do you need from me? And my dad's like, I want you to come here. I'm like, okay, so I got on a plane the next day. But I walked over to my wife. I said, my mom's gone. She passed away. And my wife stood up, came over and hugged me. And then everybody I talked to, I had all these uncles calling me, had all these people calling me, asking me how I was. I'm like, I'm okay, I'm worried about my dad. I'm worried about... But it's almost like they were mad at me that I wasn't...
You weren't emotionally.
I wasn't emotional. Yeah, I wasn't I wasn't like a black lady at her son's funeral. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I wasn't over but to me it's like that does no good for anybody. So to me it's like, okay, my mom's gone. The first thing my mom would tell me is like, make sure you take care of your dad. So that's what I did. I went into take care of my dad mode.
And you and your dad had a weird relationship too.
We've had a
not anymore, but I'm saying, but you did.
Yeah. We did. We have a relationship. Yeah. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. We still don't see eye to eye. Right. But I told him the other day too. I told Cheryl this. I said, I admire my dad. I told him, I said, I admire you. I was like shocked at this. Like, what?
He's like,
and I said,
where's this going?
And I said, because I said, you didn't know what you want to do with your life. You didn't know where you were going to go. You ended up joining the military. You stayed there for 20 years. You got out, and then you worked 20 more years for civil service, and now you have 2 pensions.
That's badass.
Okay. Good for you. People. Yeah, and that's good. I'm glad that you did that. Congratulations on not thinking you could do any better.
Right.
That's not an insult, but basically saying, a lot of us would be like, okay, I can do better than this. I can, thinking we can do something better or be in a different place. But I told him, I said, you stuck with it. You did that. I said, unfortunately, once you guys decided to retire, Mom passed away a year later, so she couldn't get an opportunity to enjoy it. But I knew that my mom would want me to look after my dad to make sure he's okay, because that's the type of person she was. And I remember my sister and I had a conversation one time about the hypothetical question of if you and your child are drowning, and the other person has a boat. Okay, your other spouse. Let's say, for example, your wife. Okay, your child is you and your new daughter and your wife are in a lake and they're drowning. Mm-hmm. You have a boat, but only one more person can fit on the boat. Okay, hypothetical, yes. What do you do?
I'm grabbing my wife.
You grab your wife
because we can keep reproducing.
Okay,
I'm not saying that in a fucked up way.
Well, you don't have a connection with that new child as much as you do your wife either.
That's not really.
But that's a good answer. That's good. I like how your brain thinks different. I thought, okay, I would put my wife and my child in the boat and I would go in the water.
Well, you didn't. That's an option?
It's an option.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, so you're not in the water?
No,
I thought three people were in the water.
No, 2 people are in the boat. You take a boat, but only 2 people can go in the boat.
Oh, yeah.
And then my sister said, I thought it would just be mom and dad and they'd leave us in the boat. They'd leave us in the water.
No.
And because they had that relationship where it was like my parents were
thick and thin.
They were
not
thick,
going nowhere.
Thick and thin. You know what? Yeah. The kids are going to go out on their own. They're going to be on their own. They're going to do their thing.
We only have each other.
Yeah, we only have each other. So it was very interesting when I married my wife because I knew before I wanted a family. I wanted children. I have children that don't want children, and I respect that. I totally respect that. And, my son was here this last weekend, and we had my brand new baby grandson, and he has a little cough, and, he's having screaming and stuff like that. And I told Sarah, just like, don't you want one? He's like, no.
So we don't.
And he helped Cheryl when he was in kindergarten. He'd helped her with kindergarten. When he was in kindergarten Bible study, he was there, and then every year he stayed and helped her with that. So he was like in high school helping her with kindergarten, Bible school, and it was the best form of birth control you could think of. Because he'd look at these kids and go, "Oh hell no." I don't care how cute she is. I don't care how pretty she is.
That was how my mom was.
I do not want to get married.
My mom had 7 kids, and I was the oldest, and I was like the declared fucking babysitter because she was working. My stepdad was out of town working, so she was just like, "You can have whoever you want over. I'll get you pizzas. You know, you got to fucking watch the kids."
Pizza sounds good right
now. You know what sounds good? No, fuck that,
food, bro.
No, Chinese food, which y'all were talking about earlier. I'm still thinking about that. I haven't had that shit in like 6 months.
What do you want?
Oh man, I could get it for a big badass
Burger.
Okay, but
4 different. What about Cheryl?
burger.
Burgers.
What about Cheryl? She's in the next room.
Cheryl, what do you want to eat?
Food. Yeah.
Cheap meal. Yeah.
ribs,
Pizza.
pizza.
Oh.
I guess we're gonna.
Guess we're having pizza tonight.
Y'all are so meant to be.
Guess we're having pizza tonight, baby.
There you go. What's your go-to pizza?
He did.
My go-to pizza is, and don't, it's Cavalli in Dallas, but I can't have Cavalli.
we can't have that.
But here,
it's thin crust, ham and pineapple from
Domino's.
Yep.
I just have to. I have to make my own, bro.
Have you had pizza at Whole Foods?
I can't.
Tell me. Have you had it? At Whole Foods, you never had.
Never had Whole Foods.
Jesus Christ, do it.
They do have a good pizza, and they do the take and bake too, don't they? At Whole Foods, yeah.
Well, no, I don't think they do.
Well,
Now I do like a meat lover's thin and crispy too. From
Dude,
Pizza
here's
Hut.
the deal. Domino's is so fucking convenient. I'll get it.
Flying Heart.
I
all
could
day
walk
long.
to Domino's
Flying
from my
Heart.
house.
Flying Heart. Have you had Flying Heart?
I live down the street from a Domino's.
Yeah.
For me, then.
Where do you live at?
Yeah, you're
I stay in Green Acres, man.
you're 2
Do
blocks.
you? I live in Brownlee.
north of him.
You stay in Brownlee?
I live in Brownlee.
Let's meet. Let's meet at the.
Let's meet in the middle and have
bridge.
some pizza.
Let's meet at that bridge.
Do you get your
You know what I'm talking about?
CBD from that place right next to it?
Actually, I don't. I don't really fuck with weed, man. But the no, you know the little walking bridge between our neighborhoods. Bro, let's meet there.
I used to take Sage when he was a baby. When he was a baby, I had a bike and I put a little thing on the back and we would ride. And we'd meet. There was a little bridge between Brownlee and Green Acres.
Yeah.
And we used to. I used to take him over there and we used to ride the bike along.
Well, not was. It still is there.
It's still there.
Yeah.
Well, Flying Heart. Shout out.
They have good
Yeah,
pizza.
man.
You haven't had it? All right, so first off,
Cheryl loves their
Jeff's a friend of mine, and he's a great guy. He's been on this podcast, but I'm not going to bullshit bad food. Like if it's bad,
it's
I'm going to
fucking
fucking take
great.
it. They have a cauliflower crust, and he went to Vegas and went to all these conventions for pizza and spent all this time researching all these ingredients. And what he has there is great. And he does if you're doing gluten free, he'll do like a cauliflower
Dude, if I
crust. or
blindfolded
something.
you wouldn't know it's cauliflower crust.
No, you wouldn't. Like you had
really
no clue.
wouldn't. It's fucking awesome.
This is not what's giving me the baby shampoo flavor.
Well, it might be mixed with lime. I don't know.
It's probably the baby shampoo that they put in the barrels.
It could be.
Might be.
Yeah.
But I still have that little bit of a flavor in this one.
It might be that vaccine you had. Did you get the Johnson & Johnson one?
I got Moderna.
Did you get another one?
I got Moderna.
Did you get boosted?
No, I didn't get boosted.
Okay.
No, I didn't get boosted. No.
I didn't want to go there, but
Keep your needle away from me. My body, my rights. Something like that.
Fuck, man. I mean, it's cool. Like, I understand the people that got the first jab, but Jesus Christ. Don't tell me you got
Look,
3,
man,
4, 5.
Everyone's got to make money somehow.
That's right. I wish I had money. I wish I had stock.
Have you seen the new? All right, so we talked about Dope Sick, which you and I did we talk about that? Or
Sick?
you and I on Hulu. It has Michael Keaton in it, and it's about the whole
opioids.
Yeah, but specifically OxyContin.
Oh, okay.
And then, so that series came out last year, was amazing, and they just released Painkiller, which Peter Berg just produced that, and it's on Netflix. He did, was it The Revenant? A couple military films. I can't remember. That's why you got to have your setup next time we do a legit podcast, so we can research these things because I don't want to speak out of turn. But anyways, you got to watch. It's a new perspective on the whole opioid epidemic.
Well, I'm going to say this. I do believe that the human body and the human person, if their will is strong enough, they can stop it. Because, and I hope she forgives me for saying this, my wife was on, what was it called? Cheryl, what were you on forever? What pain medicine what were you on? Percocet, because she had back and hips. She's had a hip revision, a hip replacement.
Right.
So she's actually had pain management.
Right.
But when she had her back surgery, she had so much pills, and then she's like, I'm getting off. And she did. She got off because what it was pain management.
Did she go through withdrawals?
No.
No,
Cheryl,
that's
you
good.
didn't go through withdrawals, huh? No, she didn't. And so,
I was never addicted.
yeah, she took it because
She took it as needed, right, but she's not-
Yeah, exactly.
right.
So like when I was on my ADHD medicine for 15
Well,
years.
you just got off that too.
I got off it about 5 months ago.
Well, let's talk about that because we lost that episode.
Okay, we lost that
Because
episode.
we lost that episode where he talked about this.
Yeah. So I was on Vyvanse for about 15 years.
Right.
Okay. Obviously, the first month I ballooned up. I gained about between 10 and 15 pounds because my metabolism went. My heart rate went from 90 and 110 down to 50 and 60. But my blood pressure went down, my cholesterol went down, things went down. However,
Stimulant.
I did realize too that I feel mentally like I did when I was in high school and college.
Now, off of the meds.
Now off of the
What did you
meds.
feel like on the meds?
Fucking awesome.
I like to tell people this. Okay, if you're thinking, if you think about, should my child take this? Should my child take that? Which is a good thing I don't take it anymore because apparently you can't get it. But I would tell people, if you were to take a bunch of files and you were to throw them on a desk, okay, that's how my brain sees normal tasks, everything.
Okay,
Yeah, that's how my brain sees
hold
it.
on. Elaborate. So,
Okay,
if they're thrown on a desk, are you immediately trying to organize them or you just see it?
I
are you
don't know
overwhelmed?
where to start.
You're overwhelmed.
I'm
You're
overwhelmed.
Okay.
What Vyvanse did for me is it took each one of those stacks and it put it in order
Okay.
of importance,
Okay.
of manageability. It allowed me to become more productive and more focused. Okay. And people talk about, oh, well, you know what? People get on, they get addicted. Sometimes I forget to take it. I would forget to take it. And Cheryl will go, did you forget to take your pill? Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to take it. I wasn't addicted to it. It helped me. But then also I turned 50 years old and I said, I don't manage multiple golf properties anymore. There's very little going on in my life that I really have to focus on. So let me try to get off of it. And I quit cold turkey. I didn't reduce. I was taking 70 milligrams. I didn't reduce it.
That's a fucking lot.
No, it's a lot. I took it for 15 years.
Right. So you just
Okay.
built up a tolerance. You just increase your dosage
And
over
I did.
time. Yeah.
And so probably the first month not taking it, I was very
groggy.
no. My brain was like, I'm
Okay.
noticing things. I'm this and I'm that. I'm that and I'm this. And then after that, after about a month of being off of it, I started going, okay, what should I? No, I can't. I can't tackle that right now. I can't finish it, so I'm not going to start doing it. I can't, my brain is not. And I laid on the couch for about a month. And
What did you do while you were like watch TV? You just zoned out.
Yeah, I zoned out. I watched live. I watched Disney live streaming.
Okay.
I watched all these things. I put my brain.
Right.
I tried to put my brain in a bit thing. And then after about a month of that, I started doing playing online chess again. Started trying to, because your brain is a muscle. You can grow your brain. But when people think that, oh well, these medications they just no. For me, it put my brain in a place where creativity was a byproduct of what I was doing. I painted, I used to paint a lot. I've got about 4 paintings in my studio that I look at every day and I go, I need to probably finish that. Not being on it, when I start a task, I just want to finish it. When I was on it, the process of starting the task, doing the task, learning from the task, creating through the task was more enjoyable.
Okay. So.
Well, you're saying it was more enjoyable when you were on Vyvanse?
Yeah.
Right. But why did you decide to get off of it?
Yeah, man.
I'm 50 years old.
Okay.
My blood pressure I'm genetically, blood pressure in Mexicans is like,
Right.
basically
Well,
putting,
you're
putting syrup in a
predisposed
straw.
to hypertension and all those things, yeah.
My mom died of a heart attack.
Right,
She
right.
never smoked or drank a day in her life.
Right.
I have a fatty liver, and that's because, my mom also gave me that. Thank you, Mom.
Tequila.
Tequila, yeah. But I also realized that it wasn't healthy for me. You know, it served its purpose. When I was managing multiple properties, when I had a bunch of things going on in my life, it helped me compartmentalize. It helped me focus, and I think it was probably the only reason I even became general manager of all these things, and I did all these other things, and I did all these things, is because I had the ability to focus. And now after I got off of it, I've tried different things. I've tried, lion's mane mushrooms. I've tried Alpha Brain, which did nothing for me.
Yeah, Alpha Brain hasn't done much for me. It gives me like a short stimuli. Nothing against the product. It works. Like, I think it has its place, but it's not going to take. That's changing the entire the actual like makeup of what your brain's doing and firing. It's just different. Like,
my digestive system is better now.
have you done any like? So you've only taken like lion's mane's like capsules,
I've taken that like in a capsule.
but
with
you haven't chewed up any like legit like. Are you interested in doing something?
If you got some, I'll take it.
You trying to snort that shit, bro?
So off the record, like okay,
I'm gonna tell you this. I have 4 pills left.
right,
I've had them for 5-6 months.
okay.
And I swear to God, every now and then I go, maybe I should take it today because I got a lot of things I got to get done.
No.
But then I think to myself, okay.
Then you're codependent on something. So
Well, no. But then I think to myself, okay, you're 50 years old. You're going to take 70 milligrams of amphetamine.
Oh fuck yeah, you can't do that now.
You have a heart attack.
You're off.
Damn, dude, how long were you on amphetamine?
Well, it's just like what
15
happens.
years.
It's just like what happened with the OxyContin because it's essentially heroin, and these people got off of it. They're weaning themselves off. They're taking methadone, and then they somehow like y'all got to watch Painkiller. I'm not going to spoil it.
I'm gonna watch it.
But you got to watch
And
it.
I got a
But
story after you say this. I'm listening to
first, you need to watch Dope Sick with Michael Keaton because
Hell
Michael
yeah.
Keaton's fucking amazing. Have you seen the new Flash
No.
with fucking Michael Keaton Batman?
No.
Y'all haven't seen the new fucking Flash with Michael Keaton Batman? They went
Flash
back,
Gordon?
dude. They
Yeah.
went back to
Flash,
fucking
Flash,
the Flash,
the
like
red with the
DC
lightning.
Comics runs fast. They did
There was.
I was about to say what the fuck. I don't mean to nerd out here, but Michael Keaton Batman.
Mexican Flash?
They said
Flash? I know Flash.
What you talking about, man?
Andale.
I know Flash. Hurry up.
So they came out with they did a multiverse thing, and they put him back in the
That's
suit.
cool, man.
They put him back in the
DC
suit, and I
multiverse,
fucking
yeah.
saw it. Well, those comics have been competitive since the 70s. Or 80s. They've been competing. They all play off each other. But anyways, yeah. I don't know
So
where
there's
I was going there.
but here's the deal.
Yes.
There's
Dope
no
sick.
over the counter supplement, anything like that can compare to
Amphetamine.
70 milligrams of amphetamine.
Well, you need to,
yeah.
but I think it's always important, and we've been looking at these things, and marijuana's not my thing. I will ingest it sometimes. Sometimes I'll smoke it. I try it. It works out. Makes me feel cool.
Makes me
whatever.
think people are coming to fucking.
It makes me paranoid. So
Yeah.
especially when I ingest it. But the mushroom thing is, it has so much benefits, and there's a lot of things. There's a lot of different types you can take, and yeah.
Yeah. Well, I go
back.
I'm
Go back.
going
to do a
in- I'm going
podcast
in-
where
We already have. We already had. Well, we did a. We did a podcast with
No,
Trip.
we didn't
Well, no, we
Trip
didn't. But with
shrooms.
Trip Watkins, if you go back and listen to that podcast, we'll talk about those specific mushrooms.
Right.
Yeah,
and their
but-
properties. But yeah, we need to do one.
We need
for
to actually
mushroom,
microdose.
That's
and do
got
a fucking podcast.
We can do that.
We're gonna
Well-
talk for 7 hours.
But I want to like looking at alternatives to tackle things like
Right.
because you're never going to replace that.
Right. You're not. Yeah. And honestly, and again, I'm surprised I didn't go through a harder withdrawal when I got
I'm
off of it.
surprised too because you're on
'Cause
meth.
it was like-
you're on meth. You were on meth.
Yeah, I stopped.
Look, let's be honest. You were.
And I
Like,
will
just
say
like
this,
if you're on OxyContin, you're on.
I noticed
you're on
this.
heroin.
I noticed a couple things. Well, first of all, getting my digestive system. Second of all, I always used to like play with my teeth. I always used to pick my teeth and stuff like that. I don't do that anymore. There's a lot of things I don't do anymore, and I noticed I don't do that anymore.
They call it chewing air biscuits.
Anyone I went and got a Jeep 2 weeks ago. I told you I had missed our networking group to go get it. And this dude, I met him. I was waiting on him to get back from a meeting, whatever. I was killing some time, met him, showed up, and he was immediately the first thing he said was like, "Man, I'm sorry, blah blah." And he was like fucking flushed, moving around and shit and whatever. And this dude's in a company vehicle in the oil and gas industry, selling this vehicle for his girlfriend. And I got a good deal on it. And he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry. I'm out of my ADHD meds. I'm out of my ADD meds." And he's just like, I'm like, dude, if you're not, that's not how you act. If you're not on your ADD meds, like that's how you know what I mean? Like it was like, this dude's high on something else. It wasn't, his
Right.
ADD medication. It wasn't his Vyvanse or his what's the other
He's
one
just
called?
telling you something,
Adderall.
dude. He's on.
Yeah, Adderall. Yeah, that's what he said. He said, dude, I'm out of my Adderall. And I'm like, then why the fuck are you tweaking the fuck out? What else?
It's like on Tropic Thunder whenever Jack Black's character's like, man, I just get really uncomfortable when I don't have my jelly beans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I gotta take an 8-pound shit.
Yeah.
That's what
And he's doing fucking heroin.
That's probably his
Adderall.
best, his last best role.
I love that movie.
Oxycontin. I had a friend call
Yes.
me the other day. No shit. His own wife didn't even know he was addicted to Oxycontin. He said, dude, sorry I haven't talked
When?
to you.
Recently?
2 days ago, he
That's
called
the
me and told me
fucking
this.
problem. It's still out there.
And he was in motherfucking rehab for 60 days.
Yes.
And then he was like, dude, I'm sorry I haven't talked to you in a couple months. Because I was like, where the fuck did this, I'm not going to say his name, where did this guy go? And then he calls me and he's like, man, I'm sorry I haven't talked in a while. Like I was in rehab.
Yeah.
He's like, not even my own fucking wife.
Good for him.
Well,
So, I mean, he's doing better now,
it
obviously.
started.
But, I
It
mean,
started
shit,
really,
like,
really. You started seeing a lot of the effects in the early 2000s, right? And like, so I was living through this and experiencing this with friends and stuff that were doing it, especially in high school and stuff. And I didn't realize how bad it was and the breakdown of how it works. And this all got brought up because we were talking about the vaccine because we were joking, right? It's all a ploy to make money because they knew that they could get you. That family knew that they could, and that business knew that they could get you addicted to this pill and that you needed it. And so then we would just up the dosage. And so the salespeople were going out and they were provoked to up the doses to the doctors, and the doctors were subscribing to that because half the sales girls were fucking the doctors.
Right.
It was just this big, like, it's kind of like oil and gas sales.
Definitely to watch this movie.
Yeah, you need to watch the entire. There's 2 different series, and so this all happens, and there's huge, how it works, and they get off with a slap on the wrist and a fucking fine that they pay over the course of X amount of years that interest is paying. So they're paying all this money, but it's really not costing them anything, and the product's still out there, and like the entire like makeup of how this happened is just how big pharma works and how it operates, and it's frustrating.
the devil.
Well,
I
look,
wish,
man,
I
look.
wish, I really do wish, and
But
I,
there were so many people. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Really
off.
is the
There's
devil.
so many people that took it and were functioning, but the
Yeah.
problem was once they realized that people were addicted to it and they started chasing them and coming after them about it, then they started tackling the low-level people who were snorting. Because here's the thing: it's a time-release capsule. So over the course of 12 hours, this medicine releases and it works and it functions, and you can do your job, pain management, whatever. But what happens whenever these people on the street start snorting it and they're ODing and they're getting addicted to it? Yes, they're using the medicine the wrong way. So the company, they turn the narrative to, well, these junkies are using it and that's why they're dying. But the problem, what they didn't admit to, is that so many people got addicted to it using it the proper way and they couldn't get off of it, and then it destroyed so many lives. Anyways, not to get on my soapbox, but y'all need to check it out.
well, I like what you said. Use it the proper way.
Yeah. I mean, the way it's prescribed, but even though that was misconstrued with them, because they basically said that only 1% of people become addicted to this drug or whatever it was, or
Well,
whatever.
and the thing is, I didn't even. I mean, I knew there was something wrong with my brain. I've always known it, but I never.
But why
I
do
never
you?
knew.
But why? What? But why do you think something was wrong? Maybe it's just how you are.
It is how I am, but how I am. In other words, before everything stayed in here.
When did you decide to go get medicine in the first place? What made you go that? Because that's where I want. That's you
Okay,
know.
I'm gonna say that
Yeah.
because one of my children
Okay.
was exhibiting certain attributes,
Okay.
and they got on one, and I said, you know what? I was exactly like that. If my child's going to take it, I'm going to
Okay.
take it.
Got you.
And we went through a couple different trials of different things, and we both found one that worked very
Okay,
well.
got you.
And it got one of them through college.
Okay.
And then when they were done with college, I was like, okay, they were done. And I told them, I said, look, you are not the medicine. The medicine is not, you are who you are. The medicine doesn't make who you are. And so it got to the point where after a while, it's like, okay, you know what? I don't have as many things going on. Yeah. I don't have as many things going on in my life. I don't have as many things, that I'm responsible for. I need to, because I had high cholesterol for a while. I had, high blood pressure and stuff. It wasn't helping. It was helping my brain. It was helping me accomplish things. It was helping me get, get where I needed to go. But I think the reason when I got off of it, I was fine because I wasn't addicted to it. It was actually helping me. Mm-hmm. It was something that made me think differently, helped me organize things. I didn't take it because, oh my God, I feel awesome for 12
Right.
hours. It was because I needed it to get through my day.
I believe that because when I take Adderall, which I used to, just for fun, when somebody had some, they're like, "You have some Adderall, you want to stay up all night and drink?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it."
You be speeding.
Yeah, and that made me know that I did not need it. But the last time I took it, I actually got arrested for hitting someone, and it was a whole ordeal, and I got locked up for 12 hours or whatever, and I was in there on Adderall high, and I was losing my shit because I was so wound up, And I don't think I've ever talked about this on here, but it don't matter. I mean, it's what
You
it
talked
is.
partially
You know,
about
one
it, but
night
you
you were
didn't
Yeah,
give
it's
all the
public
details.
public
You
knowledge.
talking about the one night you were downtown, you thought you killed the guy? Was that it?
Yeah, that was that night. It was that night, and
Yeah.
and so I was spun up. I mean, I could. The thing is, like, we would take Adderall so we could party all night, and we would drink, but we couldn't even get a buzz because we were so like high on Adderall. You know what I mean? And it would make us have a good time. We'd roll all night, but the next day, dude, it was like you got fucking the worst hangover ever and completely dehydrated. I did learn that if I were to take one, and then I got to where I wouldn't do that anymore, and the only time I would do it was like, I sound like that fucking don't freebase cocaine. You know what I'm talking about?
I went down to that rehab center in Alabama.
Yeah. Have you seen that video? Oh, we're gonna send it to you. So I sound like that dude. But I got to where if I took it every now, I didn't take it a lot. Probably I'd say count on two hands that I've taken it in my
Go to the
life.
restroom real quick.
Yeah, but so anyways, I got to where I'd take that and then I would spin up or whatever, and I was like, oh, I gotta hydrate. Adderall, we're throwing down. Let's not do that. Let's not and say we did.
Why? Nobody ever wants to play the life game. No,
Anyways.
dude. I mean, dude, you know about meth.
Yeah.
You're in a fucking motorcycle.
Yeah, I was an MC. I won't name the name of it, but I've definitely never used meth. But I have taken Adderall, which is close to meth.
Yeah.
It's only a few, whatever away from it. So, but
yeah.
I think it is interesting that the same thing with SSRIs. Like I'm never really taking those. They don't do anything for me. Anytime I put any type of pill in my mouth, it makes me feel some type of way.
Wait, do people take SSRIs for fun?
Fuck yeah, dude. What are you talking about?
Witchins.
I don't know. It's just a thing. Like it was a thing when we were in high school. Like it was a
Like
thing.
Zoloft and shit?
Yeah.
You take Zoloft for
dude,
fun?
people do that shit, dude. Like they're
Really?
Perkies,
Yeah.
Well, is Xanax the SSRI though?
I mean, technically,
It's benzodiazepine.
yeah. But I mean, the thing is like people would take anything they get their hands on, and they'd figure out how to get high on it. And so, yeah, I've noticed that, and definitely in SSRIs because it was like antidepressants, and they would take it and they would load up on it, and it would change their entire way they were thinking.
That shit turn you into a zombie.
Yeah.
Alexa,
Yeah.
Lexapro, Prozac, Paxil,
Yeah.
Zoloft, all that.
Yeah, I know so many people would take those things, and
Well, I remember when I had remember when I told you the time I had that transient global amnesia?
yes, the wild
When
shit that happened to you in Colorado or whatever.
No, when I was like, I remember out of 7 hours, I remembered like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I do remember when they did my urinalysis and they go, well, he popped positive for amphetamines, and I immediately said, that's my Vyvanse.
Yeah, Vyvanse. Yeah,
That's my Vyvanse. I know it's my Vyvanse. I mean, so but anyway, so I don't know what you said.
But no, we were talking about
I'm not doing
SSRI.
math,
I was
I
talking
swear
about
to God.
anyone addicted to anything, but all this comes back to
Is
what
tequila an addiction, or is it just?
Man,
Yes,
look,
man.
I think it's still. I don't
It's
think
up there.
any of
It's
it's
like
supposed,
top 3.
It's not supposed to be in your body. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Well, and I
like-
thought to myself too, which is, and here's the thing is, I've gotten to that point in my life. I told my wife this. I said, is it crazy that, my life kind of revolves around two phrases. One is, what's the worst that could happen, and the second is, it could be worse. That's kind of like where I'm at right now.
That's kind of fucked up. I like it though.
I like it. Well, I mean, circling back to what you said is like you do think that there's a way to deal with things without using other things, especially things that are unnatural that are created in the lab. But there's a time and place for science and medicine and how they mix. But unfortunately, at some point throughout this entire process, if you look at everything from a 1,000-foot view, it's just all business. It's to make money.
It is, and I wish I had stock in it.
Yeah, me too.
I wish I had. I wish
it
I
is
had.
what it is. I'm not hating on the businessman. It is what it is. It's a product of capitalism.
Speaking of capitalism, which is the best product that we had today?
We're gonna go with which shout out to Cuban liquor because people have
Grant
been sneaking in
Knuckles.
some stuff here lately. That's not that's been taking the wind, but so if we're gonna, how are we gonna pronounce this? Because I'm gonna slaughter it.
It's Mundo Oro
Okay, so that's
Blanco, but it says Blanco Premium, so I don't know.
So I
what
feel like
premium
did they
means.
Cristalino a fucking Blanco? How does that even work?
Probably because that's not a regular Blanco.
No,
that doesn't have
fucking-
that's
it's delicious.
got much more.
The first time you tried it, you didn't like it. The second time, you're like, yeah,
No, this is the one I didn't.
that was
like.
horrible.
I didn't like the first time or the second time.
that was horrible.
Yeah.
That glass
That one I
maker
like.
went off though for sure.
Yeah,
Like whoever designed that bottle at first.
and it gives me like cannabis vibes too when I saw it. You know what I mean? A little bit.
Yeah. Look.
I never got into.
There's a time and a place.
Yeah, I never got into weed.
There's
I
a
was
time and a
around
place.
it too much
But here's what I think.
as a teen,
Here's what I
and I ruined
prefer,
it
and I
for
know
myself.
works, is CBD.
CBD, I like. CBD just puts me on my ass. I just fall asleep.
But there's a time and place to use that. So like recovery for me, if I make myself take like a 2,000 milligram CBD pill,
You go night
then
night.
well, not only that, but every stressor in my body and it's minute, and so at that point I can actually recover to my utmost. Like when we had this competition this past 2 weeks ago, my wife
I
had
saw that.
she had a sinus
Congratulations.
infection, and it took a prednisone shot. She was on antibiotics. I was like, look, I'm putting you, because we had a 2-day comp. I'm like, I'm giving you CBDs tonight. I'm giving you CBDs tomorrow night. Like we're giving it, like, give your body a chance. It's like best chance to recover as much as possible, and I think that's what it's good for.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, you can't take it and be functional.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're taking a low dose, like microdosing, you can, but like to take it for recovery, like I think you just need to get somewhere, sit still, take that shit, and it doesn't get you high at all.
But like with me, in the past, like THC and stuff like that, I didn't realize this as I got older. I realized it, but when I would do like anything like cannabis or something like that when I was younger, the inner voice in my brain spoke louder.
Do you have an inner voice?
Fuck,
do you
I
have inner
got
voice?
4 or
Yeah,
5
we
of them.
both
What are you
do.
talking about?
Do you have
I don't.
your voice?
So I got like 4 of them.
I don't.
Thank you, right?
don't.
Like,
Yeah.
wait,
It's the weirdest shit.
you mean like right now one's on a break?
My
okay?
wife's like this.
We talked about this with Mark.
Yeah, I don't have an inner voice at all. I'm gonna take a leak. Y'all get after me.
That's all I have
DJ's
is
solely
inner voice.
impulsive.
Yeah.
When you come back though, we got to just talk about a few more things. 'Cause if I don't cook for my wife tonight, I'm gonna get stabbed.
Bro, it's almost 8 o'clock. She's got the knife sharpened already.
Bullshit.
Yeah, it's sharp as fuck.
No, for me, it was like I will say this. I did notice like with like THC and stuff like that, my inner voices would battle.
Yeah, dude, it's fucked. It's
Like
not,
one would be like I have one voice
because we're neurodivergent, man.
exactly. I had one voice that would just talk shit, and I have another voice who go
about
give him a
you?
break.
I think mine's just because I'm stupid bipolar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But do your inner voices ever give you clarity on situations?
I feel like with as many voices as I have, literally, I'm not even kidding, I'm able to like see every single point of view around me, and so I think that helps, with
Right.
the situation, whether good or bad. I feel like
Well, I've had like with me, my inner voice. One would be like worst possible scenario about any possible thing at this moment.
I'm gonna die.
So you have a devil and an angel.
And
Yeah.
but then I'd always have another one to go. Would you shut the fuck up and give him a break?
Yeah.
That's another voice in my head that would say that. When I was on Vyvanse and all that, no inner voices.
I've never had one, but I'll make
Congratulations.
myself tell myself something.
Yeah.
But I still don't ever have one always jabbering, which is if they've done so many psychological studies on this shit, and there's 2 types of people. You have it or you don't.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Or maybe everyone has it and they just don't realize they have it.
Well, unfortunately for my wife, my inner voice sometimes becomes my outer voice. And we had this conversation a while back about there was a moment we had a tequila talk, and I didn't eat afterwards.
I was there, I remember.
Yeah, we went home, and we went home, and I got on this tear about certain things, and my wife was like, "How the fuck did we get here?" Right? And so the next day she tells me, "Well, you
Tequila.
came and you told me all this stuff like that," and I was like, "I did what?" And I remember most of it, but what happened was.
What had happened was
I had projected my mom
Yeah.
Damn.
on my wife. Because like if my dad wanted to go do something that, because we were talking about when we were going to go to Disney, I'm like, because Sage and I like to, like, when everybody goes back to the hotel, Sage and I like to go back on the monorail. We'd like to go to Epcot. We'd like to hang out. I told my wife, and we're going to do that. And I know you, I said some horrible shit to her, and I apologized to her for it afterwards. But she's like, what?
She's laughing.
She's laughing right now because she knows. And so the next day she told me, I said all this stuff. I said, oh my God. I said, you know what I did? I said, I remember when my dad would tell my mom, I'm going to go do something. My mom was like, okay, fine, go. And then he would leave. And all of a sudden, everything, the truth came out. How she felt came out. What she thought about it came out. And I'm like, oh
but
my
do you
God.
think it was therapeutic?
What
Or
part?
something y'all could have talked about in a different setting that probably would have been more resolved.
What I realized was the fact that my wife is not my mother.
Right.
Yeah.
And my wife says, when my wife says, I got no problem with it, my wife means, I ain't got no problem with it.
Got you.
And I fell in love with her again.
Got you.
Because I said, oh my God.
Congratulations, Cheryl. We made y'all fall in love again.
What she says is
50 time.
what she says is what she means.
Yeah.
And my whole life, fucking Mexicans, what we say is not what we mean. What they say is what they think everybody wants to hear to let the peace go through.
I've noticed that in a lot of immigrant cultures. Have you? Because you.
Oh yeah, because you got to keep the peace. But then again, when somebody gets sick or somebody has cancer, por órale, you better rub the Vicks and Corita la Morana.
I mean, yeah, dude. I don't even think that's just Latinos in general, bro.
But I realized that in my brain, I thought that what a woman said to a man was not her real thoughts. It's what she thought he wanted to hear so he could go do his own thing. But then really what she said was something else, because I don't even remember. I never even told my dad this. And if he listens to this, I'm about to tell you something. When we were about to move to Italy, my mom, forgive me, my mom told my aunts, one of my aunts and my uncles that my dad's mom had better not make him feel bad about moving to Italy. She better not do this to him. She blah, blah, blah. So my mom was even behind the scenes acting, recognizing how my grandmother, my dad's mom was acting, but not realizing she was acting the exact same way.
Yeah.
And I realized that at, how old was I? I was 14 years old, and I realized that at that moment.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is it. But back to that, is that I had projected all this stuff because this is what I had seen. This is what I had seen.
That's what we was talking about
my parents act. They say something, but they act totally different. And this is what I remember, and this is how I acted. So when you say something, act that way. Or else you're going to fuck your kids up.
Cup.
Right.
Oh, yeah, please.
All right.
I still got some more in there. You're going to put it in.
Well, I'm going to talk about.
Put some more ice in
Well,
there.
I love how it's always. I feel like. I think one healthy thing about this specific series and podcast that we do is that everyone gets to kind of vent. You know what I mean?
But in a healthy way.
In a healthy way. I said that's why I
and here's what I say. Okay, because what I'm telling you is like HIPAA. If you were talking about HIPAA, I violated so many things, but it's my own.
Yeah,
but here's the deal: if it can help one person with their child understand how their child thinks, can get them through school, can help them get beyond a point where they're just crying at night doing homework, trying to figure out what's going on with this child, or even themselves, trying to figure out why does my brain think this way, then it was worth it to say it out loud, because it's not there. Look, I was prescribed from a doctor. I didn't go buy it on the street from some guy.
Right.
I was prescribed, and you know what? For what it was prescribed for, it did exactly what I needed it to.
Yeah. I don't have anything against any of these things. Like what my biggest issue is and realization is that making money off of addiction.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what scale you look at it, whether it's therapeutic. Yeah, I mean, did you see that thing I posted?
All right, nothing
Y'all see
like
the thing?
good old
Did you see the thing?
cigarettes
I think you saw the thing I
sometimes,
posted.
you know what I'm saying?
Did you see the thing I posted?
Are you talking about whenever
They had to
They actually admitted
that
the
they
fact
knew
that
that they knew it was addictive when they released it, and that kind of stuff. Like,
But when you look at it from a business standpoint,
no, I'm all about it. Like, I get it, I understand, but like, I don't know. We're in an era now to where everything you can be found out about everything.
Dude, I was
always
sitting in
can
a
be
fucking
found out.
cigar bar the other night, like no shit.
Yeah.
And this dude that was sitting behind the cigar bar tried to tell me that there were health benefits of smoking cigars, and I just laughed at him. I said, "Hand me that fucking cutter." I was just like, I know this is bad.
It's just like
but
there's
you're
no
sitting
health
here trying
benefits to
fucking
drinking.
tell
Like
me,
we know. Look, we know this is not great. That's why I try to make myself feel better by trying to create the most healthy fucking beverage I can. You know what I mean? And it still tastes good.
It's still bad for you, but I mean,
Right.
it's just like, okay, cigar might not be. But
it's been used
It
as-
might
it
be
was-
the best
you-
way
you
you
want
can
top off?
smoke something.
No, I'm good. I'm
I see.
good.
Okay.
But I will say this:
bad.
if given the opportunity, I know that, and I will say this: like the types of things that you can partake in, whether it be THC, weed,
Right.
Delta,
Opium dens.
whatever you want to do. Alcohol is the least regulated. Nobody gives a shit if you drink 9 bottles of this stuff, which
As long
will
as
do
you don't
more
drive.
damage.
As long as
Which
you
will
don't
do
drive.
more damage
Yeah.
to your body than one joint.
You're correct.
Fuck
Actually,
yeah.
6 joints. It'll do more damage. This will do more damage to your body, your liver, your brain, everything like that. But this is regulated because the government collects taxes on this, so it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's up to you to be able to make sure that you don't drink enough.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a plant or it comes to a something, now a lot of stuff that synthesized is probably not good.
We
for you
can
either.
go all the way back though, and like we know why that was like abolished pretty much. You know, and it all came down to capitalism, and they
Chicanos
used.
had it. That's why. No,
Hey,
Well,
man, why was
African Americans? I mean, they said that, the slaves are.
why was Jesus whipping people's ass at the temple? Why'd he do it?
Look, man.
because
Why
they
they
put
do it,
God,
man?
because they put money before God.
Yep.
You should end on that note.
Praise Jesus, hallelujah! Don't come right now. I'm drinking tequila. Did you have a good time? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
dope.
Welcome.
Yeah, we can wrap it on that. We're almost at 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what
I can keep going if you want to keep going. It's up to y'all.
I mean,
I was about to tell you about my
Let's
Tell
go.
us the
Let's
story.
go.
Tell us the story.
I don't
Tell us
want to
about
stop
it,
yet.
about it,
I'm gonna go
tell
at
us
least 15 more minutes. Let's go.
I was about to tell you all about my colonoscopy I have.
Oh,
I want to hear about it. Oh, so you're
So
getting
about
ready.
Because here's the thing, we did that was one of the lost episodes. I told you all about my bidet that I put in my house.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
No, I wasn't there for that.
My son finally used it, and he's like, "Dad." I was like, "Yup, right. You feel fresh and clean." But this is gonna be my third one. Okay, I had
third
some
bidet?
third colonoscopy.
I thought it was gonna be
I had
bidet,
someone.
too.
I had someone. No, when I lived in Italy, I had a
Little
bidet.
wore that shit out, bro. I got a
Fucking
new
water
one.
hose
It shoots
in the
jet
backyard.
from multiple angles.
No, but now that I'm 50, it's like I need to have another. But when I was younger, I had problems before, and so they decided to have one, thinking maybe there's something going on there. There wasn't anything going on there, but it's like. I told the doc when they called me and said, "Hey, you know what? You have your colonoscopy, blah blah blah." I said, "Okay, I want the pills." So anybody listening, if you have the option, if they give you that big old bottle of whale sperm that you have to drink, don't drink it.
What are you talking about?
You've never had. Well, you never had a colonoscopy, have you?
I just had upper GI.
Okay, well, when you're going to have one, and everybody should have one. It's very important that you have one because Mexicans would. That's the worst thing. You know, anything that has to do with your naked body is cochino, and you shouldn't even talk about it. But a colonoscopy is very important.
Yet y'all have more kids than anyone. I don't understand.
Because of polyps and
You
everything.
said cochino?
I say cochino. Yeah, because you're not even allowed to talk. You're not even supposed to look at
The
your
fuck
naked
does
body.
that mean?
I
I thought it
you
was
know what?
sucio.
No, cochino. You know what cochino means?
Is it the same thing?
No, cochino is different.
But
Anyways, so when you turn 50, you're supposed to have one anyways. But I mean, I had 2 before, and I had one where I had to drink that nasty prep stuff, and then I had a second one where I had to take the pills, and the pills were much better. But there's a comedian that talked about when you have a colonoscopy, make sure you have a stick of chapstick. And
For your ass?
Make sure you put tape around or something so you don't
Okay,
use it.
then.
Yeah. So, and I was like, so when I first installed my bidet and everything, I was like, oh man, I can't wait for my colonoscopy now. But
Lubed up and ready.
oh man, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. So I have one
shoved
next.
up my ass, brother.
I have one next week,
Yeah.
but it's very important. It's very important to have one, and I've noticed since one of our clients is a hospital. I'm actually in the endoscopy area quite a bit, and I've actually seen pictures of
Probably things you shouldn't be talking about right now.
Yeah, I don't know the person's name, so
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Right,
but
right.
I'm like, okay, All right, but when you think about it, when you think about yourself, I'm like, oh my God, somebody's gonna look at my ass. Okay, they look at 9 asses in
it's
an
all
hour.
good.
Nobody gives a shit. When they're there, they don't work. What their
No pun
job
intended.
is, their job is to make sure there's no polyps.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to do that. I've had 3 uncles die. One from prostate cancer,
Boom.
one from colon cancer, and one from one of the other ones. One of the other ones up in there, because they were too proud
To go get
checked,
something shoved in their asshole.
to go get looked at, to go.
At the end of the day, we're all fucking human beings. Like we're
Yeah.
not. It's not a like. I don't understand why there's some type of emotion attached to fucking body.
If I'm gonna tell you, if Jose was here right now, he'd be like, "It's an ass. So what?" You know, who gives a shit? You know, everybody's got one. You know,
Yeah.
it's like you know, when you think about
It's
those
just
type
like
of
when
things.
people are weird about taking
Every
a
single
shit.
person does the same thing
Exactly.
as everybody else, but we all want to act like it's not.
Yeah.
You know, we don't think about it.
It's forbidden fruit,
But
bro.
yeah, but so I probably won't have to get another one for 10 years after this. But the last one I had was 12 years ago. But I say that to say preventative maintenance on your body
Yeah.
is as important as it is on your car. Okay, your body is
more important,
is a
yes.
machine. It's this thing, and the people that you go to, like when you go to gastrointestinal specialists, or you go to someplace like that. That's what they do every day, all day. You are no different.
Let these people do their job.
Let them do the job.
No,
Let them
you
do
look
what
like
they
a
gotta do.
car. You don't. You look like.
Yeah, it's like okay, it's your turn now. This boom.
Yeah.
And by the way, the drugs that they give you when you go in, oh, it's
Ben
nice.
does like getting high.
You'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it quite a bit.
Let's end on that note. Keep a clean ass and expect your ass.
All right,
Cheers, fellas.
guys. Thanks.
What?